What is up? What is up, fellas? We are back. Best Ball Mania 5 drafts. We got two more on the docket for you today, number 18 and number 19 of Spicy Hot Ghost drafting for us. Going to be an exciting stream because this is the first Underdog stream in which we can present that we have dropped our Redraft Rankings Manifesto 3.0. We dropped it last night for site subscribers. And of course, if you guys were following the channel last year, the deal was if you signed up on Underdog using a $10 deposit and promo code FSE, you could also get our draft guide for free. Spicy, I'm going to get you to enter the Best Ball Mania 5 draft here. Just give it like 5 seconds maybe and then hit enter here. And then anybody who wants to join the draft, obviously they can do that. I'm kind of just going to discuss some of the features of the draft guide as we're waiting for it to go. You might need to reset your page there, refresh your page. But basically the draft guide has a number of features. Again, if you guys were following the channel last year and you had access to it, you know that we have the classic, rankings here where me and Danny have our tiered rankings. We have ECR for like home leagues, Underdog ADP for more sharp leagues. And then we also have kind of how we compare to the market. We also have last year's fantasy scoring in here. Of course, in this house, we use PPR points per game only. Danny does his contextualized game log series, which showcases the truth of every, top 24 pick as of right now. We'll probably have 48, 50 players by the time August drafts come along. And this one specifically is about Ayuk and kind of shows when the 49ers all had healthy wide receivers and tight ends. Then we have the risk ratings, which were a big hit last year, which you kind of go through and you go injury, age, offense, pass and rush volume, quarterback play, talent, all that stuff kind of culminates into how risky of a pick a player is or how safe of a pick a player is. And you can see our 101 is in fact CeeDee Lamb. I actually made the switch after doing this to CeeDee Lamb number 101. And then we also have the home league versus FSE thing too, where if you're playing specifically on the ESPN platform, you can see how we differ versus ESPN. Or if you're playing on Yahoo specifically, we can see how we differ versus Yahoo. So again, if you guys do want access to our draft guide, it is free to people who sign up over on Underdog Fantasy using the promo code FSE. And of course, you can get into drafts such as the one that we're in right now, waiting for 4 people to get a lot of home league practice too, because the best part about using Underdog to get the draft guide is that you can play on Underdog and get practice for your home leagues. Gone, in my opinion, are the days that you do mock drafts on Sleeper or on ESPN or on Yahoo where people are taking kickers and defenses in the 7th round. This is sharp, paid, real drafts that you can win real money with that get you ready for your home league. So spiel aside, let's get into the first BBM here.
And just adding to that last point, people think, oh yeah, I'm going to do a mock draft on Fantasy Pros or a mock draft on Sleeper or a mock draft on ESPN, Yahoo, all these apps. I'll tell you right now, again, we will be doing a video on it at some point, talking about the market inefficiencies site by site, both in terms of redraft, in terms of dynasty, in terms of best ball. But I mean, straight up, once you start drafting an Underdog, you're going to notice a big time ADP discrepancy, particularly when it comes to certain types at the position, whether it's, the top end running backs may be valued highly on Underdog, but once you start getting to like the RB2, the RB3 area, you're going to start to see a big divide between where they go versus where they go in some of your home league apps.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like there's players on ESPN, like Romo Dunze's ADP is like 175 on ESPN right now. Like there's no actionable reason to do mock drafts on a site like that where Romo Dunze goes in like the 60s on Underdog. It's like you can build a juggernaut team doing an ESPN mock draft right now, but that's not useful. Like your league mates probably aren't that stupid. If they are, obviously that's great for you, but my league mates, you like your mock drafts way more than you like your actual drafts. And Underdog puts it in perspective where the analogy that I've used before is that you're trying to fight a high school bully, but you box with Mike Tyson or something like that to get prepped for that fight. You're going to be over prepared if that was the case, right? That's exactly we're drafting against the Mike Tysons, against the Evander Holyfields here. And then we're going into our high school fight ready to kick ass. So
the classic 105 decision point.
I want to go St. Brown here because I moved St. Brown to my 104 after doing the risk ratings.
So for reference, I would go Jefferson, but because you want to go St. Brown and because I view it as a 50-50, let's get you a St. Brown share.
Yeah, so
that's my 5
I
and
looked
6.
at my portfolio and I figured I'd have more Jefferson because he is higher ranked in ADP, but I already do have more St. Brown. But I guess I'm just pulling a lot of 105s because I literally, and I know Spicy's probably going to type this in the chat that we've had like a million 105s when we've done these.
We always get 105, man.
I think this is like our 8th or 9th 105 with Spicy's draft so far.
It's absurd.
St. Brown has been my click most of the time. I have 12% St. Brown right now, so I am slightly above market on him.
So I'm actually like, in terms of my ownership, on the same wavelength, simply because at the beginning of the cycle, I would kind of be like a 60-40 of taking Jefferson over St. Brown at the 5. But St. Brown, I notice, is far more likely to fall to 6, fall to 7. If you're lucky, again, very rare he falls to 8, but sometimes if both the other running backs, Bijan and Brees, go, you'll get the odd draft he'll fall to 108. Versus with Jefferson, like, unless we are specifically taking Ramondre over him at 105, I don't see Jefferson get out of the top 5 much often.
Yeah, I mean, he usually goes 106 if he doesn't go 105. Christian asks, are our rankings for PPR, half PPR, standard? Our rankings are for PPR. I don't typically do rankings for standard or half PPR very often. I mean, PPR and half PPR, there's not a major difference. You can kind of just slightly adjust them in your own head. If you want other, rankings formats, we can definitely do that. But like, I have never played in a standard league. So I don't even love doing standard rankings, to be honest.
I played 1 year in a standard league, and it's like, it's so different to the point where a lot of the stuff that we go by in PPR specifically, it just doesn't really apply, because at the end of the day, you can talk about, your target share, you can talk about how much volume you're getting, but at the end of the day in standard, if you're not scoring touchdowns, you're worthless.
Yeah,
that's how
absolutely. It looks like we have a couple classics in the chat right now too, with Devo's in this draft, and of course Giga Chad picking right after us too, or right before us, I guess.
Give me the money.
What are we thinking with this pick? Are we wanting to grab the classic
between two guys,
Ayuk, Amon-Ra week 17?
Yes. Hear me out. Okay. So the top 2, clearly, if you guys know us by now, the top 2 for me specifically would be Nico Collins and Brandon Ayuk here. I've warmed up to 2-3 turn Debo, if it's forced. In this instance, it would be forced, not to mention we would also have the correlation there with Amon-Ra. Debo, he's so interesting to me because it's like half PPR scoring with underdog, obviously big time spike week implication, week 17 correlator there with Amon-Ra. And with Deebo Samuel, like when the 49ers are healthy, his overall efficiency in terms of scoring fantasy points, despite the overall volume he gets, is insane. Like, again, you guys will see it on the CGL.
Do we want to go Debo here, or do we want to go Waddle?
He won't make it back. Different? Debo won't make it back. Again, I have Waddle, Waddle specifically, Evans higher, but because we have St. Brown, I don't mind going the correlator.
Yeah, I mean, I'm typically not one to do the correlation tiebreakers in the first 5 to 6 rounds, because I think correlation is more something that I'm willing to build out later in drafts, like in the late portions of the drafts. But I mean, it's a tiebreaker for me between Debo and Waddle, so sure, like we can go in that direction.
Like, where do you have Debo ranked? Curiosity.
I do have him lower than Waddle, so I probably would have gone Waddle there, but I don't mind mixing in some texture. I guess it's probably going to be a very common pairing for a lot of people to have St. Brown and Debo together, so we're going to have to find ways to get unique in the rest of the draft here.
So for reference, I have Debo as my wide receiver 17, Waddle 13, but that clump, that tier, I would say is really, really close. And to be honest, I think I'm going to change the tier a little bit, because now that I think about it, this might sound like a hot take, but going through it, is Devontae Adams part of that tier?
Not even. I have Adams. Like I moved him right down after doing the risk ratings, man. Like the only thing that Devontae Adams
fucking
going
terrifying.
In his favor is his own ability.
He's terrifying. And even that, bro, he had a 1.8 yards per route run with AOC at the quarterback position last year.
Yeah. So what direction do we want to go here? Do we want to grab another wide receiver?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Do
you want to go DJ?
Yeah, because then we also have 2 games built in there with Lions versus Bears. So it's, again, not much of a correlator, but you're getting 2 games versus 1 game potentially. So, I mean, if we're playing like strict tiebreaker, not to mention DJ is one of the top players on my board there, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, and I also feel pretty confident that we might be able to get an anchor running back or a onesie with our next pick. Maybe a Pacheco or an ETN falls back to us, or we can, deviate for like a Lamar or an Andrews or a McBride or something like that if we wanted to.
Yeah. But going back to Debo again, I'm not going to indulge the full player card or deep dive into, I don't know, whatever the word would be there. So I'll just say this: Debo Samuel, when everybody was healthy last year, only a 19.2% target share, which makes sense. You have so many guys on the field. but 2.26 yards per route run, and he was able to score 17.7 PPR points per game. Because the other underrated factor is, again, we will talk about, Garendo and Elijah Mitchell and all these other 49ers running backs. At the end of the day, the true RB2 on that team after Christian McCaffrey, especially once they go inside the 10, inside the 15, inside the 20-yard line, is Deebo Samuel. Like that's a big reason. Again, he was able to average 71 yards per game on 6.9 targets per game. But because he was also able to give you some in the rushing game, he was able to score at a wide receiver 6 clip when everybody was healthy.
Yeah, every year he breaks my who is the next league winning wide receiver thing because
he's a model breaker.
He's the only wide receiver I can remember in recent history that you actually have to project rushing volume for. Like some guys, it's like, oh, it's a cherry on top when Robert Woods used to get like 120 yards a year or whatever. It wasn't something that you projected. It was just like, oh, that's nice. He's getting some carries. And like same with like a Jaden Reed or like somebody like that, where it's like, yeah, they'll probably get some rushing work this year. It's not something I'm like really, really baking in or really projecting, but it'll probably happen.
Yeah, well, it's insane when you look at Deebo's overall rushing volume in the last couple of years. Again, not the most amount of carries, but because he's so efficient on them, it doesn't matter. 59 carries 3 years ago, 42 2 years ago, 37 last year in 15 games. And I mean, this guy has been rushing over 200 yards, 3+ touchdowns in 2021. Obviously, we saw that at 8. Maybe 8's not attainable with McCaffrey on the roster, but he had 5 rushing touchdowns last year. That has to work into analysis.
Yeah. I was really hoping Kelsey would fall back to us. This room doesn't look super avalanche-y, I would say, because we still have like the easiest teller for me if the room is going to be super wide receiver heavy is if George Pickens and Amari Cooper go round 3. That's usually the way that I can tell if it's going to be like that. To me, I think ETN is an absolute slam dunk here. Pacheco or ETN is fine with me. I don't really care.
Spicy, you flip the coin. Which one do we have more of on your account, ETN or Pacheco?
Probably I definitely Pacheco, have more Pacheco on my own account.
Yeah, I have more Pacheco on my own account.
Let's roll ETN because I have a lot of Chiefs in general on my own account. So we'll roll with Travis here.
Yeah, like how much Pacheco do I have? I have 15%. All right, we're cooking.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Yeah, Christian Kirk wasn't going to fall back to us, so I'm not married to the stack there of onslaughting the Jags offense anyway. But I do think ETN and Pacheco are quite literally like the exact same bet. It's like, I mean, you feel better about Pacheco's offense because he has Patrick Mahomes or whatever, but ETN, I feel better about his workload, especially as a receiver. So like there's a mini separation between those two guys, but essentially you're drafting like 2 running backs who are in their prime, who are going to be 70%, 80% opportunity share guys, not really a whole lot of backfield competition. And you're hoping that they run hot on touchdowns and in ETN's case, run hot on receptions as well.
Yeah, I mean, like they're both big targets at this range. Like for reference, in my running back ranking, so currently I have Pacheco at RB8, Travis Etienne at RB9. The way I kind of have that tier, so I'm actually going to make this change on the fly. Going through the CGLs, I think I'd be taking Devon Achane over Jonathan Taylor, so I'm going to make that switch.
Yeah, I personally can't get there when I project the like, I know we make fun of volume as king bros all the time, but like to me,
matters.
There's a certain point where volume has to factor in, and to me, I have ETN and Pacheco over Achane. Like that's definitely not a popular take, but I personally there's nothing other than the fact that they're running backs and they could get injured that separates me from taking Achane over those guys. Like we're hoping that Achane can command a workload that they're already commanding.
I mean, hoping is how you hit on league winners, because if this guy hits,
for sure, but to me, there's a right and a wrong way to factor in upside. And again, ADP
it's
agrees
completely
with you.
The right way with Achane, man.
ADP agrees with you. So I'm not gonna. Anyways, we're on the clock here. Do we want to grab
Reed or? I mean, Allen's kind of.
I wouldn't mind grabbing a onesie with Kincaid or with Richardson. We could also grab Ridley. That's a week 17 correlator for ETN.
Yeah, let's do that then.
Let's grab Calvin Ridley here.
Let's do that. Is Spicy paying for these drafts, or are you splitting it? So we actually, when we signed our new deal with Underdog, we got grant money to play on the site for both myself and Corey, and we took each a portion of our grant money and actually put it on Spicy's account so we could stream these drafts for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Cameron left us a super chat. Apologies.
Appreciate that. Yeah, apologies. Yeah.
Morning, homies. 12-team super flex. I traded Goff and Warren for Baker and a projected early first. Jeez, dude. I have Burrow and Kyler already. What do you guys think? I mean, like, call me a homer, but like I don't see a huge difference between Goff and Baker Mayfield.
It really isn't a big difference.
It's a difference. Like I trust Goff and I trust the offense more, but I don't think it's like a massive difference. It's like a second-round pick worth of a difference, not a first-round pick, especially not a projected early first-round pick. And Warren's a fun upside swing, but he's not worth a projected early first.
No, not at all. But HN, man, like I keep coming back to the fact we haven't seen a rookie running back be that efficient since Alvin Kamara. And he's in one of the best offenses in the league.
So the fatal flaw in the Alvin Kamara comparison is about 40 pounds.
40 pounds?
30 pounds. He's 188 pounds, Devon Achane.
Okay, but I mean, at the same time, he's going to
command what Alvin Kamara commanded his second year for as far as a workload. I feel that when you look at everything the 49ers didn't get a lot of coaching staffs do, which is
Kamara didn't get a ton of carries. Kamara did not get a ton of carries. Mark Ingram.
No, I know. I'm saying Achane doesn't have the size to hold up to even what Kamara received.
That's such an outdated way of thinking.
It isn't an outdated thing though.
He was the most efficient rushing running back in the league.
Sub 200-pound running backs don't finish as multi-time RB1s very often. So while I think Achane will be an RB1 this year, he'd have to be a pretty major outlier to do it.
Contextually, though, how many of them land with Mike McDaniel? With
Not
this
many.
exact
again, I still like Achane. I still have him RB8 or RB9. I just prefer Pacheco and ETN. I think they're cleaner projections.
But I'm telling you, if all of them hit their ceiling, Achane's winning your leagues. And I mean, I think
Pacheco and ETN absolutely could win people leagues.
Do they have 23 point per game upside that I think Achane does?
Yes.
23 point per game upside.
Dude, Pacheco could rush in 17 touchdowns this year.
I love Pacheco, but there's a clear difference for me.
There's a difference in the ceiling. I'll give you that, but I think the median and the floor vastly favors those other two guys. And I don't think the ceiling is a huge
I think you're discounting it though. I mean, this is still a guy that on sub 16 opportunities per game was giving you over 21 PPR points per game. I understand inherently.
But he could also regress pretty comfortably down to 5 yards per carry.
I get he could regress as a rusher, but what I'm basically saying is when a rookie shows you they are damn good at football, the bet has been to just bet on them being good at football. He's going to get more work because he was damn good at getting that work in year one.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I've learned this lesson before, and his name was J.K. Dobbins, Cam Akers, and Javonte Williams.
And they all suffered significant lower body injuries.
You're right. They did suffer significant injuries, but we'll never know how they would have turned out because we didn't get to see how it played out.
I would make the case we would have been vindicated, and if those guys worked out and didn't get hurt, we'd be drafting HN in the first round.
Do we grab Kittle here?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, Kittle, we could grab Hopkins too, I suppose, but
Kittle all day.
Yeah.
If
Hopkins falls back to us, I don't hate grabbing that and then grabbing a Will Levis double stack.
Yeah. Pete, that's insane. We saw Rashad's workload.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. To me, Pacheco and ETN are the two guys I'm doing it, but I'm still taking HN over Derrick Henry, Kyron Williams, and those guys.
Like for what it's worth, when we get passionate and talk about a disagreement, that's like RB6 versus RB9, and all these guys are going to be going in the second or the third round anyways.
I feel comfortable getting HN in the third round, whereas you are very comfortably taking him in the mid-second probably.
Yeah, I have him right now. After I made that switch, he's my 17th overall player.
Yeah,
so that's
and on Underdog, the reason I don't take HN very much is because I know I can get ETN and Pacheco in round 4. Yeah, in home leagues, I think they'll be going a lot closer together. But on Underdog specifically, because it's best ball, people love the upside of HN on a single week. Hopkins, unfortunately,
Pete was joking. He's probably he's
memeing on us. What do we like here with our next one?
I mean,
I don't take a lot of Montgomery, and this is kind of the place that Montgomery makes sense.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I don't love Montgomery, but the underrated thing about Montgomery is that if Gibbs were to miss any time, he would probably be
his contingent upside's insane.
Yeah, he would probably be a smash if Gibbs missed any time. I just never take him because I don't want a contingent upside play in round 7.
Yeah, no, that is true. Especially knowing Kamara and Stevenson and guys like that, or not to mention some of the quarterbacks like CJ Stroud was in a little bit of a free fall there. To be fair, again, CJ Stroud, according to ADP, was in a free fall there. But I just don't see a big difference between him and the other quarterbacks like Love, Prescott, and Burrow going in the 9-10 area. realistically.
so when I break down what makes a league, like who's the next league winning quarterback, I know that when I do the number one draft strategy video where I kind of talk about the pockets of the draft that I'm targeting, I'm very aware that Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, and Jordan Love will be the pocket of the draft that I'm targeting.
Easily,
just
bro.
because the running back, wide receiver, and tight end positions are more top heavy than quarterback is. That's essentially the only reason why. And I honestly, like, even if you miss out on those guys, like, I feel fine in a redraft league rolling out Tua or Brock Purdy or Trevor Lawrence.
Call me crazy, but this year what I've noticed is I either want to take one of the top two guys because them falling to the late third, fourth round, regardless, even at the depth of the position, like you're getting 23, 24 fantasy points per game. But like once they're off, I don't find myself drafting a ton of Mahomes, Lamar, CJ Stroud, because I know the projections of the guys like you just mentioned, Kyler, Love, Dak, Burrow going round 9. I would rather wait and take those guys round 9 and get a 6th round wide receiver like Roma Dunze versus taking CJ Stroud there and then ending up with a receiver like, if you're lucky, Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, well, we can do the opportunity bundles game even like because we're probably going to take Purdy with this team, I would imagine. Like if we take Purdy, we should do the opportunity bundles game of like Purdy versus like Burrow and Richardson and Stroud and like the guys that go before him, because it's really difficult for me sometimes to get to any of the early quarterbacks. Like Hurts is the guy I take the most because he's my quarterback one and he often goes and slides a little bit, but man, it's hard for me to click the button on any early quarterbacks because I just like the early tight ends, wide receivers, and running backs better most of the time. And I know that the opportunity bundles look worse. Like when I grab Anthony Richardson in round 5 and in round 9, my best available receiver is Cortland Sutton or Tyler Lockett. I'm like, damn, I wish I had just taken, I don't know, Calvin Ridley or Jaden Reed in round 5 or Xavier Worthy or somebody in round 5. And then in round 9, grabbed Kyler Murray. Or, Burrow or Love or Dak or whoever's there.
And like typically in the best ball, you're going to have to draft based on correlation, not based off like the pure projections at quarterback most of the time. Because again, you want to make a consolidated bet. Plus not to mention we're working with a macro portfolio here. But when you're in your home redraft league, if there's the same type of discrepancy, like we're just talking about straight up point equity throughout the rest of the season. I mean, Kyler Murray is a guy right now, if I check my rankings, I literally have him ranked as my quarterback 6. I have Kyler Murray straight up ranked over CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I can't. I would prefer Stroud in a vacuum. Unfortunately, Swift just went there. He would have been a nice fit for our team with the DJ Moore correlation. Do we have any correlated bets here on this team? I don't think we have any Rams, so Connor doesn't correlate with anybody. We do not have any Chiefs.
Lions.
Do we have any Chiefs? No, we don't.
Niners, Lions, Titans are the main ones we have right now.
Yeah.
And we do have the Jaguar run back with the ETN.
Yeah, we could grab Sutton as a receiver that I feel pretty good about.
Yeah, I'm cool with Sutton here.
We could just grab a running back too and just feel comfortable there. I don't know.
Yeah, I like Sutton here.
Yeah, let's grab Sutton. I feel better about the running. I don't know about you, but I feel better about hitting the button on running backs who are in the 9th
early
teens round than I do about the running backs in round 8.
Yeah, same. Like we're looking at the difference between, I mean, Zamir White hasn't actually gone here, but he usually goes in this range.
Yeah, he has. He's at 8.5.
Oh, he did go. Okay, so Zamir White, if we're looking at the difference between him and Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, I mean, Singletary, Elliott, Chase Brown.
But real quick,
guys, like I feel pretty similar about them all. I mean, Zamir White projects better like in the short term, and he has a place on teams. Like I like taking Zamir White when I need guaranteed touches.
Yeah. Especially early season. Now, touching back on the Zeke Dowdle point. Again, call me, I'm a Cowboys. I get it. Again, this is not from a biased perspective. But you're telling me you substitute any top 5 to 10 scoring offense in the league with an ambiguous backfield situation. Them and the Cincinnati Bengals, it's like those teams are going to score points. I don't care if you're a Chase Brown or a Zach Moss guy. I don't care if you're a Zeke or a Dowdle guy. You should be taking stabs at both those guys. If you miss out on Zach Moss, take a Chase Brown. If you miss out on Zeke, take a Rico Dowdle, because no matter what, you're insulated to that bet because whoever pays off as an RB1 is going to be a 5th, 6th round value. And I would make the argument, if it's a split backfield, that the second running back in that room could be worth a 12th or 13th round valuation. So what really loss are you operating off of from there?
Like worst case, do we want to take a sliding value on Curtis Samuel here, or do we want to venture to a different position?
Down with Curtis Samuel, or we could We could close off tight end with Njoku, or I'm down with Curtis Samuel. I'm down with either.
Yeah, I never take Curtis Samuel because he never slides. So let's take Curtis Samuel. Let's get a share here. Probably cuck to Josh Allen manager, but it's fine.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
So
I'm on the same page. Like, I'm firmly team Zeke over Dowdle and team Chase Brown over Zach Moss, but I have to remember that I have to mix in the other guy because they're both good bets. And same goes with like the Chargers. Like, I'm very much on team J.K. Dobbins over the other two guys, but I still draft Gus Edwards and Kamani Vidal because I think that somebody will end up being a good value. If not, potentially multiple of these guys, especially with the Chargers. Like, if they operate a three-way timeshare and they're one of the most run-heavy teams in the league, like, it's very possible that both Gus Edwards and Vidal pay off, or both Vidal and Dobbins pay off, or both Edwards and Dobbins pay off.
It's just, it's silly to me. Like, I understand it from the overall perspective that the Lions run the ball a ton in the red zone. And again, we did take David Montgomery in this draft, but it's weird to me that similarly projected scoring offenses between the Lions, the Bengals, the Cowboys, one team has running backs being selected at the 1-2 turn in the 7th round. One team has running backs being selected in the 8th and 12th round. And one team has running backs selected. Literally, Zeke is the RB1 on the Cowboys potentially, or Dowdle's the RB1 on the Cowboys, and they're 12th and 13th round picks.
Yeah, this is a good question that Matthew brings up. I'll get to the super in a second. Don't mean to make you wait here, John. But Matthew says, can you explain these correlations you keep mentioning? Okay, so the way that Best Ball Mania works is most of the money, all of the big money, is in week 17. So the reason that we're saying correlations from a week 17 standpoint is in DFS, if you guys play DFS, typically you would, stack up offenses and then maybe run it back. So if you think that Tennessee Titans, Jacksonville Jaguars is going to go nuts in week 17, you would stack up, say, Will Levis, Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd, and then run it back on the other side with Travis Etienne. What people do in this contest essentially is that, except just in a season-long standpoint, and use those week 17 correlations as a tiebreaker. So that if you do make the week 17 final, you have the highest potential upside that you can get. And also you have to get less things right. Yeah. If you predict that game to go off and it does, you're probably going to finish pretty highly in the standings. And then the other reason we're using the word correlation too is just that, we have players from that team already. Like if we have DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift is correlated because if the Bears are really good this year, that means that DeAndre Swift and DJ Moore maybe both hit or have a higher likelihood to both hit.
It's consolidating your bets. Basically, once you make a draft pick, especially early in your draft, you're assuming either, specifically Purdy easily. Specifically from a team building standpoint, like if you're taking a volume projection in the first round, the way I kind of view it is if you're taking that volume projection, you should be focused specifically on the quarterback and not necessarily about the overall team environment. Because again, like for example, Devontae Adams of last year, Las Vegas Raiders, you could have had a lot of Devontae Adams who was fine. But realistically, if you took more Raiders thinking that you were correlating to them, it didn't end up working out for you. Typically speaking, when we're correlating from a team structure, we're more so looking at the offensive environment. So teams like the Niners, the Cowboys, the Bengals, the Lions, some of these top scoring offenses, not to mention hitting on the, unsung hero offense every year, a la the Houston Texans last year or the Cincinnati Bengals a few years ago. You kind of want to mix it up. So basically with these teams, you're going to be drafting 2 or 3 quarterbacks. Ideally, you want to have each of them correlated to their team because you want to bet on their outcome holistically rather than having to make 3 bets.
Not to mention in week 17, if a pass first quarterback like Brock Purdy gets there and he's the quarterback you need, he's going to bring guys along. Like, yes. If Purdy is the guy you need in week 17, then Debo and Kittle maybe had monster games, or Ayuk and Kittle maybe had monster games, or Ayuk and Pearsall maybe had monster games. So
Cooks or Goff?
I like Zeke here, to be honest, because I think we need some running back production.
The reason why I say potentially wait is we could get a Dowdle or someone on the next turn.
I don't feel as good about the running backs beyond this point.
You don't? Okay.
I think we can punt. I think we can punt Goff knowing that we have St. Brown.
Yeah, we'll try.
He might fall back to us. It's like when you have pass first quarterbacks and you have the best pass catching option. Like if we wanted to take a look like who Laporta drafter has at quarterback, we could definitely do that because Laporta drafter is the biggest concern for us.
Yeah, wait, what is he doing?
Okay, this guy doesn't. He has Gibbs and Laporta, so I mean, it's possible he takes Goff still.
And Mahomes,
he already has Burrow and Mahomes, so he's probably not going to.
Wait, go to his team, Spicy. What's his construct right now? Does he have 2 wide receivers?
Yeah, I have no idea.
the 2-3-3-2 build is an interesting
Yeah,
one for
that is,
sure.
dude. His wide receiver 1 is Xavier Worthy.
Is wide
In a
receiver
3
2.
wide receiver start, he has Dontavian Wicks, who might not be a 3 wide receiver set starter for his own team.
It's quite the build. It's quite the build.
Quite the build. Quite
But
the
he is
build indeed.
experimenting.
Anyways, John, we have to get to your super chat here.
Hey, just one thing. I don't even mind if that guy snipes up on Jared Goff because his team's going to be eliminated and it's going to make it a 1 out of 11 anyways. So
Yeah,
go with
fair.
that.
Hey, fellas, I'm on the clock. Yes, this guy took a naked Jared Goff. Fun. Dynasty rookie draft round 3. Looking for best player available. JJ McCarthy's on the board in round 3. I'm assuming you play a 1 quarterback format, but even still, I would still go with JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, same.
He said he doesn't really need quarterback. I mean, I would still take McCarthy, to be honest. He's a better bet as a first-round pick at quarterback than Vidal and Ray Davis are anyways.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, you don't take, even if it's a quarterback, single quarterback, you don't need a quarterback. Like, you're talking about a round 1 drafted player in the NFL versus late day 3 guys.
I believe Mahomes will be available. Do I take him or look to trade back? If so, I was thinking Hurts, thoughts, and just take Mahomes if he's there at pick 3. That's my easiest suggestion. You're in a dynasty startup, take Mahomes.
I mean, yeah, and if he's not there, just take Hurts. Yeah, I think that's a fair. I'm very less likely to trade down from that spot, to be honest. You mentioned, like, should I trade back? Like, I'm usually just taking a quarterback there.
I'm assuming he meant it because pick 2 is probably going CJ Stroud.
That's fair.
He's asking pick 3. That's fair. Would you trade Mike Evans in a late 26-1 for Nico Collins or Brandon Ayuk?
I would do it for Ayuk, but I maybe want something small back for Collins. But
I would prefer Collins to Ayuk.
By the way, Ayuk's reception perception dropped, and Cody mentions this in the chat. It's all green. First of all, he's green across the board. 96th percentile against man, 91st percentile against zone, which is a big improvement from years past in Ayuk's career. He was traditionally a man beater, and 97th percentile against press. I feel very confident saying that Ayuk is easily a top 15 player in redraft and best ball for me. Like, I would take Ayuk over every receiver in that, like, second round cluster that we don't really know what we're expecting. Like Puka, Marvin, those kind of guys. Like, I would take Ayuk over London. I would take Ayuk over Collins. I would take him over Waddle. I would take him over Olave. I would take him over Evans and Adams. Like, I'm taking Ayuk over all those guys. Because to me, Ayuk is Collins, except with a little bit more proven track record of being an elite player. That's kind of the way him and Collins are very similar.
I love Brandon Ayuk, but the biggest difference is going to be the volume of their situations.
Both offenses probably project to be similar in pass. So the same offense.
I'll make the bet right now the Texans will outpass the 49ers in terms of volume.
Maybe. Okay, we're on the clock here. We could grab Lawrence is free falling and we have ETN. We might as well just take Lawrence as our second quarterback.
Is Gabe Davis available still? He just went, fucker. It's a naked Lawrence.
Like 20 picks past ADP.
Yeah, we gotta do here.
Yeah.
Close out. Do they have the same buy? Because I want to end this as it's okay. Never mind.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, we got lucky there. They didn't have the same buy. We could also take.
Yeah, just real quick on Ayuk. Again, I love Ayuk, but I just can't have him higher than I currently do. I have him ranked right now as my 19th overall player. I mean, if you want to argue, actually, I would take him over Taylor. So I'd have him as my 18th overall player. I just can't get behind the overall volume of that offense. Again, the overall peripherals look good. If you guys actually look at the true series of his card, again, 23.06% target share, 17.13 PPR points per game in the stretch when all the Niners are healthy, wide receiver rate. It's still really good. Like, he's an elite wide receiver. I'd make the case he's a top 5 to 8 wide receiver in the entirety of the NFL, but at the end of the day, a 23% target share equating to 6.3 targets per game. Compared to the other top options at wide receiver, it just simply isn't enough.
Also, we cucked Giga Chad, I think.
Did we?
He said that's a trash ass snipe. He must have somebody. He has Kirk, I think.
I mean, you took Kirk after we took BTN, brother.
I mean, fair. In his defense, we probably should have taken Pearsall. Knowing that we had Debo and Kittle already stacked up with Purdy. We probably should have taken Pearsall. I'll definitely give you that. That was probably
that's a good call. That's a good call.
It's tough when you're on the clock, like in your streaming, like you don't have the time to.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, like I say, people are sniping me back and forth when I draft, but realistically, sometimes I'm just not even looking at the other teams when I'm streaming.
Yeah.
Like when we're actually off a stream, it's one thing, but
yeah. Do we want to take Komet here and close off our tight end build? We have more already.
Sure. Unless Giga Chat wants to get us back here, which I didn't blame.
Yeah, I mean, who else do we have on the board that we could take? Yeah,
Yeah,
he
there
he
you
got
go.
it.
That's
I'll
fair.
give you
That's
that.
fair.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
there you go. There you go. That should get back. That should
Do
get
we want to
back.
take I'd be
Um,
okay taking like a Jalen Wright here and getting some upside at running back.
Yeah, I'd
Anybody
rather
else stick
wait.
out to you?
Go up. Go up. Um, yeah, fuck it. I guess we gotta go Jalen
Gonna go
Wright.
Jalen Wright.
Yeah,
I mean, we're
yeah,
already 6 deep at wide receiver, so I don't
yeah. We
really
got
want
to.
to take another wide out until some like
We
falling
just
values
yeah.
kind of present themselves.
Now you got us back. Fuck, bro. I can't believe we missed the Cole Kmet, man. Fuck. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Apologies
we're
on
even
that one.
now.
We
Yeah,
probably
no, I'm
shouldn't have done
joking.
that.
Our bad. I did not even notice. I didn't even. I just saw Trevor Lawrence and we had one
Yeah.
quarterback.
Cody
Already.
mentions too, talking about the home league ADPs, no one's doing mocks on the other platforms, which means, I mean, like Cody, even when they are doing mocks, like we're talking late August and people are doing mocks on those platforms, the ADP is still terrible. So
Yeah.
it's do mocks on those platforms to get an idea of where players are going, but definitely lean on the data and the teams that you can build out on Underdog and sharper platforms. And then if you're prepared for that, then you go into those mocks and you're like, oh my God, when the real draft happens and people are letting Romo Dunze fall to round 9 or whatever is going to happen in those drafts, then just laugh at them. Like I remember last year, like Drake London was like 11th round pick on those platforms. And even though he didn't like super like big time pay off for people, like that was just a complete egregious joke. So that I think that's funny about those ESPN and Yahoo type of platforms.
Yeah. Is it crazy to prefer Bijan to CMC and redraft?
I mean, we did it just last year. So I mean, I'm not gonna be the guy who does it this year. Like I think, yeah, like in hindsight, maybe we were just a year early on it, and I wouldn't be shocked if Bijan outscored him this year, and maybe even McCaffrey is a big time bust because he gets hurt or something like that. But I'm not going to be the one who does it this year, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'll just take Lamb at 101 instead, is what I'll do. Instead of drafting McCaffrey a lot, I'll just grab Lamb at 101, and that'll be how I maybe leverage against being slightly nervous about McCaffrey.
Let me point this out. I kind of feel like a thought. Again, I probably didn't have much influence in this. People probably just did their own research and figured it out. But being on the early CeeDee Lamb as the 101 like months ago feels good. I
mean, I don't think you were early on it. I feel like 95% of like content creators I've listened to have been saying it since April.
Fair, I guess. I didn't listen to anybody.
Of the two of us, you were definitely on it before me, but like
I was on it early.
It's not an outlandish take. Like in the wide receiver avalanche landscape that we currently live in, many people have been saying it.
Fair enough. Again, I haven't listened, but I just know I've been saying it for the last few months, and now the market's starting to catch up to it.
Yeah, IDEP says, what's the highest percentage exposure you guys are willing to have on a player on Underdog? I would say depends on where they're
25, 30% for the late guys.
On an early round player, I'm saying like 20% at most. Like anybody who's rounds 1 to 6, like I don't want to be higher than that because generally speaking, we're pretty good at pricing those players. But anybody after round 10, if you want to have 50% exposure to an 18th round dart throw, I really don't care. To be honest, I think that's totally fine.
The ones that I'm higher on comparatively now is, well, first of all, at the beginning of the offseason, I believe Cooper was more of a late 4 than an early 3-4 type of turn pick. So I got a ton of Cooper. Apparently, again, like I won't know until these drafts are fully calibrated from this month. But
do you want to grab Burton here, by the way?
Yeah, sure.
15 picks or 14 picks past ADP or whatever. I think also too, all of my late round dart throws are Broncos. So that makes a good week 17 mini correlator. Actually, we already have Cortland Sutton. Actually, I didn't even realize that.
So going back to that, by the way, so again, these will fully be calibrated after this month to see the second wave of drafts that we've done. But in the first wave, like of the early round guys, so Cooper, I had 25.5% because again, he was more of a later 4th, and now he's more so going at the 3-4 turn. I think he should be a late 3rd round pick, to be quite honest. I mean, this offense projecting forward with Deshaun Watson healthy, especially Nick Chubb being injured coming into the season, should be inherently more pass heavy. Not to mention Amari Cooper was one of the bigger league winners down the stretch last year. So just kind of feels like the market, I don't know, it's an Amari Cooper factor. People don't love him inherently, so they kind of priced him down. But now people are starting to sharpen up. He's more of a 3-4 turn guy now. The other guy, I mean, Cooper Kupp. You remember how much Cooper Kupp we were drafting when he was in the 4th round?
Yeah, the risk ratings made me lower on both players respectively. I'll explain why in a second here. So
let's hear it.
Do we want to grab Sinat maybe?
Yeah, I mean,
we need another tight end.
We kind of do. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I'd be cool with Sanat. I mean, you never have to talk me into J.K. Dobbins either.
Yeah, no, let's do Sanat.
Yeah, we'll
Let's
grab
see what falls
Sanat here.
back at running back.
Do you think we need a third tight end?
This is right on the cusp of needing one. I mean, it depends I'll say, like, if we do grab a third round, it would be in the last round, and we'll see.
Yeah,
What's
like we can
available on
grab
the board.
Kraft in the last round or
Yeah.
something if we want to. Or maybe
Yeah.
we could grab Dolchich maybe in the last round too, because we have the Broncos and Bengals mini correlation.
Yeah, that makes sense. By the way, do your Twitter DMs work on PC right now?
I never open my Twitter DMs on PC, really.
Gotcha.
So I wouldn't
Okay.
know. Snakehead says, "What's up from South Africa?" Love to see that. Didn't know people were listening over there about fantasy football content. Hey boys, how would you rank the following 4 receivers for Dynasty? Garrett Wilson, very clearly number 1 for me here.
Wilson, London, Nico, Waddle.
Yeah, Nico and Waddle is the only one I think that's really debatable there. But I would prefer it in the order that Danny just listed it as well.
Yes, sir.
What's up, MFs? What's going on?
Amen.
I agree. When you take Mahomes, Lamar, Stroud, and A. Rich, you fall behind at wide receiver too much. Yeah, not even just at wide receiver too. Like I think you fall behind at other positions as well. Like at running back and tight end, you can fall behind there. Do take a little Stroud with some stacks, but that's basically it. Yeah, I think of the early round quarterbacks, the one that I take the most is definitely Jalen Hurts, and then second is probably Mahomes because I take a lot of Kelsey. But for the most part, I don't have much of Anthony Richardson, Lamar Jackson. I only take Lamar when I can set up the Andrews stack. For the most part, I'm like comfortably going to be like 6% across the board on the early round quarterbacks, which feels uncomfortable because they can really burn you, especially in week 17. But I think the way to play it is to get stronger at the other positions and hope that we can predict who goes off week 17 among the later round quarterbacks.
I'm far more likely to take Andrews before I take Lamar if I'm at that 4 or 5 turn, especially if it's like close to like the 407, the 408. Because again, when you're at the 411, the 412, you kind of know you're going to get both of them. But when you're at the 407, 408 and actually have to make a decision, the way I think about it is a lot more teams are going to be willing, especially the biggest one is going to be the Texans team, the team that takes Nico Collins, the team that takes Stephon Diggs. They're much more likely to take Mark Andrews than they are Lamar Jackson. And conversely, when I've been in those spots with the Texans correlation, I've actually been taking a lot more Lamar than I have been CJ Stroud, specifically because a lot of people are going to play it Stroud, 1 or 2 of those wide receivers, Mark Andrews has their correlation with maybe like a Rashad Bateman built in. Whereas if you can get some different textures with those same matchups of the Texans versus the Ravens and play it differently. So instead of Stroud, Collins, Diggs, and Andrews, I can go Lamar, Nico, Diggs, and Bateman later on with maybe like an Isaiah Likely built in. That's just a different player pool to be able to navigate in. Again, a lot of people are going to play at the chalk. Can you get a little bit of different differentiators in your lineup?
Yeah. Looking at our structure, I think we're going to have to go 6 RBs. And I also think we are going to go 3 tight ends. So we're probably good at wide receiver unless something really screaming falls to us. Because we went pretty early on the capital we spent at wide receiver, right? Like we just like with St. Brown, Debo, DJ Moore, Ridley, Sutton. I think we probably are okay there.
Maybe Tracy here?
Yeah, I think Tracy's a good value at this point in time.
Like we have a lot of sturdiness with our first 3 guys, like workloads built in ETN, Montgomery, Ezekiel Elliott. Having Wright and Tracy as our upside guys is nice.
Yeah, I don't mind grabbing with our next pick. If Chig falls back to us, we could grab him as our 3rd tight end because we have Lawrence with ETN and we also have Ridley too.
Makes sense.
We could grab Chig. Oh, Chig just went. Giga Chad is he's on a mish right now.
I respect it. I respect it.
We could who else do we have correlation wise? We don't have any Ravens, do we?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Damian Pierce, I think, is a good value where he goes right now as he'd be a good 6th running back, I think, for us. But we could also
I'd be careful saying a bunch of names out loud right now with this guy on a mission.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't really care.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
There's a number of other options we have.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Do you want to grab Damian Pierce or maybe you want to wait for Estimate to come back around because we already have some Broncos and Bengals correlation?
We could do that. I mean, what's the other option? Tight end?
Yeah. You know what? Let's take Pierce now. I think we don't. There's no tight ends that stick out to me that are.
If Chig had fallen back, that would have been a decision point. But like now, it's not really worth talking about it.
Yeah. So go to the tight end board, Spicy. I just want to see exactly who's available here. So, Colts, we don't have any correlation with. Bengals, we do. So Star Gesicki, we have correlation there. We also have correlation with we don't have any correlation with Tucker Kraft, but I think he's just the best tight end who's available right now. So you star him, and then star Dolchich as well because we have that Bengals Broncos correlation. So one of these three guys is fine with me.
Sorry, I have to point this out because it's objectively hilarious given the timing of when this happened. But I'm pretty sure Cody commented this at the beginning of the draft, and now it's just so much funnier.
Oh, I know. I noticed that as well. He was like, "You guys are going to need to learn to play nice."
Spicy. Yeah, no, we already caught that.
Yeah, I'm way ahead of that, Danny.
What? We literally just read the exposure comment. We just read this. What do you mean you're way ahead of it?
I read that a long time ago, dude. What? I went what's up from South Africa, rank these wide receivers. We already got way past that.
No way.
Yeah. Brandon Classic wonky redraft league comment here. He goes, "Hey, I got 4 and 5 overall. I'm considering a double hero RB with Bijan and Brees." I mean, Brandon, your league is, from what I remember from our consult, very running back heavy. So I think you'd be fine doing that. But if you're in a league that's going to wide receiver, like lock you out at wide receiver, I wouldn't do that. Like I'd mix in like a Jefferson or a St. Brown with one of those running backs. But if they're going to, take running backs galore, I think that would be a really effective strategy because you'd have like 2 of the best running backs in fantasy.
Yeah, for sure. Can I grab? Yeah, dude, go nuts, Spicy. Go get your cereal.
Yeah, you can do that, Spicy. We'll answer some comments in the meantime.
Yeah. Picks 4 and 5 overall, considering a double hero RB with Bijan and Brace, and just figure out the rest. Thoughts? I'm not going to lie. If you have picks 4 and 5, I'm assuming you're lacking mid-round depth. If you take both those guys, I am severely worried about your wide receivers.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he's told me that the wide receiver position is one that you can get pretty good value on in his league. But I would say, yeah, knowing that I think he's without his like 3rd round and 4th round picks or something like that. Like you're going to be behind the 8 ball. I would mix in a St. Brown or a Jefferson.
Yeah, like it's tough for me knowing like, oh yeah, Hollywood Brown wide receiver 1 season. Welcome back.
Yeah, like, and not to mention with 4 and 5, like you could get Chase Bijan and be good to go or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and then just kind of figure out the rest later. Favorite team this year is a Burrow Caleb Williams team. Yeah, I like, dude. Burrow. Oh, so he means Burrow, like where Burrow goes to Caleb Williams in terms of the overall ranking. Yeah, I really love all the quarterbacks really from like QB7 to QB14. Like I think starting with like Burrow and then Dak and Love and Murray and those guys, and then into Caleb, Jaden Daniels, Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, and Tua Tagovailoa. I feel really good about those guys. And even
who's your cutoff quarterback?
Stuff I feel pretty good about.
Who's your cutoff quarterback for that?
Let's make this pick first, and then we'll discuss that. Which one do you want to roll with? Do you want to go with? We already have Kittle and Sanat. Sanat's like our upside play, I would say. So we could maybe go with like a Gesicki, who's a little bit more of a safe play,
or Jawan Johnson, someone like that.
Well, Gesicki and Dolchich are correlated, and Tucker Kraft is just the best option. Let's go Gesicki. I never take him.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. So talking about the quarterback cutoff range again, like your rankings are going to differ a little bit from the Underdog ADP. I'll rate it based off my own rankings because it's a little bit different. So for reference, again, quarterback 7, CJ Stroud, quarterback 8, Jordan Love, quarterback 9, Dak, quarterback 10, Burrow, quarterback 11, Caleb Williams, quarterback 12, Brock Purdy. Do you consider Jaden Daniels and Tua as a part of that range, or do you consider one of those guys to be the next?
I mean, you're going to be mad at this, but like I have Jaden Daniels at like 9. I have him over Prescott.
You're insane. Over under 20.5 passing touchdowns this year.
Probably under, but it's not going to matter because he's still going to outscore all these guys.
The guy who was the quarterback 3 in points per game last year?
Yeah.
No.
Jaden Daniels is going to run like 750 yards and 8 touchdowns, and he's going to have like the most mediocre
offense going to be shit, and he's going to throw for less than 20 touchdowns. Yeah, he'll probably be quarterback 8, quarterback 9, but I mean, we're talking about guys with Burrow, with Prescott, down the stretch of Love that were legitimate top 5 options.
Okay, but what if Daniels is good?
I mean, he could very well be.
If he's good, he's going to be quarterback 3.
Sure. I mean, we both analyzed him. We both have our thoughts on him as a player.
It's a fluid range. Like I really like. I think there's merit to taking Dak over him. Like if you have like a risky team already, you want a safer option. But like if you need upside for the roster you've built, I don't think Daniels is outrageous.
I just think we're downplaying Dak's upside because he doesn't run. Like the guy was quarterback 3 in points per game down the stretch.
I love Dak this year. He's one of my biggest targets. It has nothing to do with Dak. It's just all rushing and how fantasy works.
People just get bored of Dak. Like I
don't get bored of Dak. I think he's a great option.
All right.
Dude, it's just that simply Jaden Daniels. Like, if Richardson had stayed healthy last year, like, how much better would Richardson have been than his ADP?
Oh, he would have been nasty. But I mean, at
Yeah,
the end of the day,
it's not really that big of a different bet.
What?
What?
Kingsbury versus Shane Steichen, the Colts weapons versus the Washington weapons.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
there's a difference.
Again, Daniels is like more pro ready than Richardson was, so there's that. He
I mean,
also his
was he though?
tendency to run is higher than Richardson's was too in college.
I think Richardson.
Like, we watched the same guy,
prospect.
right? Like, you saw what Jaden Daniels looks like.
He's electric. He's electric. But at the end of the day, like, he needs to be a 850 yard rusher to overcome the passing deficiencies that he has. Because even Kyler
Murray
was
pretty mediocre his rookie season as a passer, and he got there as a runner.
If he can be Kyler Murray, then by all means. But at the end of the day, you're also dealing with options that were legitimate top 3 to 5 quarterbacks in points per game at certain points in the last few years. I'm saying last 2 years because Burrow obviously hurt last year.
Yeah, no, again, I have them back to back, so it's really which one you prefer. Like,
I just think you're underplaying Dak
on your team. Like, if you have Cowboys players, obviously you would take Dak, or if you have a team that already has some risk to it, you would take Prescott. But to me, I can make the argument that Jaden Daniels belongs as high as a top 10 fantasy quarterback this year because of what he presents as a runner.
He's not far off, and to be honest, I probably got to change him with Purdy. But like, you're ranking him over Caleb?
Yeah,
I can't get there at all.
I love Caleb, but I would rather have Daniels from a redraft standpoint.
All right, we disagree. Spicy is back. Actually, I thought. Did you just get your cereal? You're that.
Got his cereal. He's on deck. Okay, we're gonna enter another draft here. We could actually do a pug if we wanted to, but
you want to do a pug?
Let's do a best ball mania. I didn't know the pug 2 was live right now. We should drive. Danny, go drive to Buffalo after this is done.
Well, why don't we do one? Fuck it.
Nah, because we got BBM in the title. We already promised the BBMs.
Yeah, fair. All right. Yeah.
So we'll enter one of these. But for those of you guys that do want to get involved in Underdog, who are new to Underdog, the pug is like the perfect contest to do. It's a $12 entry. You have 3 entry max, so it's not going to be a million max enter bros that are in your lobbies. It's probably going to be a little bit more of a casual contest. We got 106 this time, so we're building around the same player that we always build around.
K Chase is an OG. I've seen his name before. K Chase.
Yeah. We got some badges in this one.
Keep scrolling on, Spicy, because our face cam's like blocking it. Giga Chad, the
classic. Yep.
Who's at 112? Do we know him? No, by the slice.
Buffalo. Yeah, we got some red badges in this room, so this one might be a little bit of a avalanche room here.
Yeah.
But yeah, the IU perception profile. Yeah, it looks pretty mentally ill. How good IU is.
Real quick, then going back to the previous conversation, who's your cutoff then? Okay, so Jaden Daniels, like I should have him in my top 12. I moved him over Purdy. Is Purdy the cutoff? Tua the cutoff? Jared Goff the cutoff? Or is Justin Herbert the cutoff? At 16?
Tua is the cutoff for me.
Tua is the cutoff.
Caleb Williams is the cutoff for me because I have Tua actually ahead of Caleb Williams.
Interesting. Okay. So how do you have that range settled right now? Like, I'm assuming Murray's your 6?
Murray is my 8.
Who's your 6?
Sorry, my 7, not my 8.
Who's your 6? Stroud?
Richardson. I have Stroud at 5.
Oh, got you. Okay. I have Richardson 5, Murray 6, Stroud 7.
See, I want to get cute and do a running back and like mix up the build here, but I think we have to take Jefferson with all the red badges in here.
Especially knowing we passed on him last draft.
Yeah, no kidding. We're just going to have like 100% exposure to Jefferson and St. Brown on this account. So
yeah. Okay, now Giga Chat, we'll try to stay out of each other's lanes this time. Our apologies.
We'll actually make sure we're paying attention to what you have here.
Yeah. Just because he pointed it out.
Yeah, but the range we're talking about, I like to double up my.
He was not thrilled. Had Chick taken before y'all even said anything. Jacksonville bring back to go with my Jags double stack. Oh wait,
I know. I feel bad.
I just noticed that. My bad.
Maddie says, "What's up, fellas? Hope you're having a great Thursday. We are.
You too, bro. Appreciate
Thank you for joining us. What's up, fellas? Rake has been paid. True.
Yeah, that guy was having a wild time at the 112 last draft. Was
that
the guy that started 2-3-3-2, right?
Will be my most on set. Yeah, I think Nico and Ayuk
easily,
along with Saquon. I would say those 3 players and Harrison too are like just my favorite clicks in round 2.
Yeah, like Nico. I'm by rankings here. Let me go to my completed drafts. Sorry. So 52 teams are recorded now. I have Nico probably like 17%. Where the
This
fuck
is
is
this is where I'm drafting from in my home league.
19.2%.
Nico? Yeah, I figured you'd have a lot of
19.2%.
Nico. This is where I'm drafting from in my home league, so this number 6 spot is a good practice for me.
We're guaranteed a stud here.
Yeah, I hope it's one specifically that we want.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy goes neighbors. Let's grab Ayuk here.
Yeah. Yep. We got it.
For those of you guys that missed the earlier announcement, by the way, our redraft rankings manifesto 3.0 is now officially out. We got everything from positional rankings to risk ratings to Danny's contextualized game logs that we did last year. I'll kind of showcase some of the stuff here as we're waiting for our next pick. So we got our positional rankings. You guys can see them there. Combined tiers, us versus ECR and ADP. We have last year's fantasy scoring sorted by PPR points per game with a minimum of 10 games played. Danny's contextualized game logs. If you guys had the guide last year, you'll know what this is. Basically, we look at a split that we could project into 2024, which is the 49ers have all their weapons healthy in this case. And we kind of contextualize how good was that player when that split was taking place. We also have the risk ratings, which were a big hit last year, which is where you kind of go through these players and you're like, okay, how likely are they to get injured? How likely are they to regress from an age perspective? How likely is their offense to be bad? So on and so forth. And I added range of outcomes stuff there, upside, median, and floor. And then we also have the home league ADP versus FSE. This is just the first edition of the manifesto too. We're going to have tons more features coming out throughout the summer. And of course, if you want access to the manifesto, which is live now, Underdog Fantasy, which we're drafting on right now, perfect practice for your home league drafts. Promo code FSE gets you that draft guide totally for free with a $10 deposit. And you also actually get this new customer special of Angel Reese for the WNBA as a higher or lower to do some pick'ems right away if you want to get access to some of that stuff. That will be linked down below in the description of this video. So just Jefferson and Ayuk is our start. I'm feeling good that we should be able to get another good player with our next couple picks. One of them goes that we're probably waiting for. Another one goes that we're probably waiting for.
I saw Saquon and Achane make it to the third round. I'm like, please let one of them fall. Tank Dell at the 3-5. We got DJ Moore last draft.
Do we want to grab Sam Laporta for the week 17?
I can't do third round, bro.
No? Okay.
I can't.
Do you want to do Kyron? I never take Kyron. We can do Kyron.
Yeah, fuck it. We could take a Kyron.
Let's go Kyron.
Yeah. I mean, I have him like 37th overall, but like at the same time, knowing that Achane and Barkley are gone and knowing that we kind of want to run it back here because we took DJ Moore in the last draft and the wide receivers kind of pushed up after him. I'm cool with it.
Yeah. I mean, I have ETN and Pacheco ranked over Kyron Williams, but if we want them, they'll probably be there in the next round.
That's the big reason why I haven't ended up with a ton of Kyrons because I have those guys ranked straight up over him.
We could have gotten cute with the ADP and taken ETN or Pacheco and hoped the other one fell back to us because it's probably going to be like a very rare combo to have both of them together because most people wouldn't take
I
them.
would argue that the 4-5 turn teams have some combos that are unique there comparatively, and they're going to be getting it at depressed cost.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it's like, is there really a big difference between taking 2 on the 4-5 turn versus taking 2 in the mid third and the mid fourth? Like, yeah, but also like how many teams from that specific draft slot are going to have those combos?
Yeah, like because if Jefferson is the guy you need at wide receiver versus like Lamb gets hurt or something like that, or Hill gets hurt, then it's more likely that you'd have a better team output there. But again, we're just thinking through. And by the way, we use the term texture a lot. Basically, all that means is that you're not drafting the same team over and over again. Like if you have a lot of 105s and 106s, you kind of want to mix up the players that you're taking because then you're at the mercy of the ADP and the mercy of where you're drafting all the time.
It's easy to just click the players that you like every single time. But if you do that, you're going to have 40% rostership and you just
and maybe that's what you want. Maybe you're just like, I know better than the ADP and I'm going to draft my takes or whatever. But sometimes it's good to admit that you maybe don't know everything and you should probably take some stabs at some unique guys at a certain percentage.
If you're doing a super small sample, I don't hate that. By the way, God damn it, man. Really? Fuck. I mean, Pacheco this time?
Yeah, let's grab Pacheco. I never do it. This is like a modified double hero RB. That's kind of a weird, wonky start to us. We're definitely going to need to catch up at wide receiver, knowing that, and we probably can't deviate from any elite onesies. But I kind of like this build as like a 2-2 to start off the draft.
Yeah. The only thing is we'll probably only be able to grab one onesie in the first 7 rounds as opposed to potentially grabbing 2, but because we're gonna have to lead with at least 3 or 4 wide receivers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. We'll see what falls back. I mean, Pickens could have been an option too, because he rarely falls to this point at this current at this point of drafts. Like he usually goes 3-4 turns, so that could have been an option. But I mean, at the end of the day, Pacheco half PPR in this format, he's gonna crush.
Oh, absolutely. Should I trade Addison for Mark Andrews?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be okay. In a 2 tight end league, dude, there's no way you should get Mark Andrews for that in a 2 tight end league.
Yeah. No, for sure.
If you had Trevor Lawrence and Kincaid at the 105 in a rookie draft, would you prioritize a stack?
I prioritize best player
as in
available.
Take Brian Thomas Jr.
or Keon Coleman, maybe he's saying. Which, okay,
Yeah, I mean, if you're referring to like if it's a 1 quarterback rookie
BPA.
draft and you want to take Brian Thomas Jr. at 105, that's fine. But if it's a super flex league, you should absolutely take whoever fell between Jaden Daniels, Drake May, or Malik Neighbors. But if it's a 1 quarterback draft, I'm fine taking Brian Thomas Jr. at 105 for the stack.
Yeah. How much would you add to Rachaad White for HN and Dynasty? I mean, if I plug it into the flock calculator right now, let's actually get a good gauge over what I would need
I think something slightly less than a first for a second swap would be my answer to that question. I think a first for a second swap would be slightly too much.
It's probably about the cutoff, I would say. Yeah,
that's probably what it's going to cost you, though, unless the person has no idea what they're doing.
HN. I basically got HN for like a late first in the league. I felt so.
Okay, we're back on the clock here. We could go with Kincaid. We could grab a wide receiver. I
think
I like grabbing a wide receiver here, Danny. Who do you like? Keenan Allen, Jaden Reed, or Calvin Ridley?
You know my answer is always going to be Jaden.
All right, we'll go with Jaden Reed here.
Let's see quick, though. Rachaad White, RB11, 68th overall. RB9, Devon HN, 58th overall. So, like, by the calculator, we're kind of seeing it's probably about, I mean, if I plug in a 2025 early to mid 2. Yeah, about a 2025 early to mid 2.
Do you have that sorted by community rankings or
by expert? By expert.
Expert, okay.
So I was again, like I'm assuming people watching, maybe if you want to hear our specifically, it would be a little different. But from the whole Flock Fantasy site, including us, including Mason, including Domain, including Fantasyland, that would be the fair trades point, right about a early to mid second attached to White. But again, I mean, so some leagues
plus a 2, I guess, is the answer to that question.
Which it makes sense because you're basically, again, similar age running backs. You're betting on the elite upside of HN. Again, by the way, if I had the opportunity to take either Rachaad White plus a 2 for a package or HN straight up, I actually would take HN. The reason being is that you're upgrading your point equity from about a 5th round pick, 51st overall, to a guy going at the 2-3 turn. And you're inherently gaining more upside, I would say, with Devon HN, because although he's going at the 2-3 turn and that's baked into his price, there's also the range of outcome where he can absolutely crush, which I don't see with White. Again, could Rachaad White's crush scenario be similar to last year? You know, finishes a mid-range RB1, a ton of volume, you know, maybe gets a little bit more efficient on the ground, sure. But like HN's upside is legitimately a top 3 running back in fantasy. And, you know, little reminder here, little fast forward, but once we do our bold predictions, that may or may not be one of mine.
What, that he's top 5?
No, that he's this year's Alvin Kamara and that he finishes top 3.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. You said they were similar ages. Like HN's 22 and White's 25, actually. So it was a pretty.
I thought White was 24. I thought White was 24.
No, he's 25. He was a 99 and he came out kind of late.
Why did I think he was a 2000? Yeah, why did I think he was a 2000? HN was a 2001.
Okay. Worthy, Hopkins, Worthy.
I like Hopkins.
I'm fine going Worthy because we have a couple lockdown guys.
No, I got my take with Jaden Reed. You can get your guy here with Worthy.
Yeah, because I 100% would have taken Keenan Allen with our last pick. So
yeah. Comment down below, by the way. What would you rather have? Keenan Allen, Xavier Worthy, or Jaden Reed? And who was the option there? DeAndre Hopkins, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have just been a negated decision if Rome Odunze had fallen.
I take Worthy over Odunze all the time.
No way.
In redraft, yeah. Not in Dynasty, obviously.
Can't get there. How much Rome do I have? I have 19.2% at Dunze.
I know Liam Murphy likes kind. Dude, Liam loves Kyron so much, man. Like I was on a video with Liam going over some of my exposures midway through last season, I think it was, and I think he mentioned Kyron Williams like 475 times in that one video. So I know he's just a big Kyron guy, and I know he was on Kyron. So it's like, he obviously was very correct about that take. So he might have some allegiance to Kyron. I don't know. The way I look at Kyron Williams is when he's in the mid third, I'm fine taking him there, but anything earlier than that, and I'm probably out at that price tag because I think he projects as a mid to low end RB1, which is good. And he can be a 15, 17 point per game guy potentially on his high end. I just don't think we're ever seeing 2023 Kyron ever again. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I don't think he's a bust. I don't think he's terrible. I just don't think that he's going to ever be what he was last year.
Yeah, I agree with you in that instance. Again, it's going to be a good offense. He's going to have scoring opportunity there. Obviously, we know the Rams, once they get inside the goal line, inside the 5, inside of the 10 situations, have been more so a run-dominant team, especially throughout the tenure for Sean McVay. So, again, even though he may become, instead of a 23 opportunity per game back, maybe he's instead an 18, 19 opportunity per game back because of the presence of Blake Corum. Even if that still exists, even if he's still in the high teens rather than the early 20s, you're going to have scoring opportunity. Who knows, maybe even takes another step up as a receiver. I really noticed that at certain points in the year when they needed him out of the backfield, he actually looked efficient as a receiver. So not to mention one of his biggest calling cards coming out of the draft was that he was arguably the best pass protector in his draft. So if he can just keep developing on third down, kind of similar to what we saw from Isaiah Pacheco down the stretch last year for the Chiefs, he has more untapped potential there, even if Blake Corum's getting more overall volume comparatively. So
JSN, do you want to go JSN here?
I am all for a JSN.
Yeah, JSN's
the cutoff.
Second highest drafted wide receiver and
He's
highest
the
drafted
here
of any player in the top 10 rounds. I have him at 23.3% of my team, ironically tied with Xavier Worthy at 23.3% of my teams. For what it's worth, I have Odunze on like 17% of my teams too. So I draft him a lot. I just prefer Worthy straight up.
Yeah, I mean, I can't get there, but like I get it. So like look at the wide receiver board, because honestly, after JSN, I think we just hit the tier break.
Yeah, I mean Coleman would be the last guy in that range. Yeah,
you could try a pass on him, man. Did he have because he had Allen?
Yeah, I like the double hero that we built out here. Let me take a look at the stacks.
Oh, you got Kincaid and Cook. Okay. You got that's fair. Okay.
Go to the stacks we built out real quick. I just want to make sure that we have quarterback outs here.
Yeah. We'll go to our build. I mean, Minnesota is one of them.
Minnesota, not really. San Fran. Okay, we definitely need to prioritize Purdy, Love, and Geno.
So, like, maybe we can end up with a Love and a Wicks or a Love and a Kraft here, and then we'd have a 3 build there, and then we'd also have the run back week 17.
Can you star Jordan Love, Geno, and Purdy?
Love is the main priority because we also have the week 17 correlator there because Minnesota, Green Bay.
Yeah, that's good. I just want to make sure that we have them on the screen at all times so I can see them.
So the guy got Kyler and Stroud with 2 running backs.
Yeah, we're also going to need to find a way to get some tight end outs as well. Late round, we have outs to the Packers tight ends and Noah Fant as well with Jackson Smith and Jigba. But we already missed on Kelsey, obviously, for the Chiefs because we have Pacheco and Worthy, so we have correlation there, but we don't have obviously the opportunity to draft a tight end there.
What's the guy with 2 quarterbacks rocking right now? Okay, so
this is also a screaming Brock Bowers team to me.
No way. He's just sniped us.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
What a douche.
Do you want to go with Bowers here?
I would rather wait. No.
Well, he's not. He probably won't make it back to us.
You don't think so?
No. I mean, we can take Ferguson too if you prefer him.
I always take Bowers over Ferguson. Now, the reason why I would go Ferguson now is because A, worst case scenario, we can backdoor Dak.
Take Ferguson, spicy.
And B, I feel like Brock Bowers might actually start falling a little bit because there's been like reports out of training camp that Antonio Pierce is like, yeah, we need our guys to block first and foremost, and he's got to earn every snap. It's like, it's complete coach speak. I still love Brock Bowers. But what I'm thinking it happens in the market is that 94.9 ADP. I mean, he takes him here 93, so he's fucking unconvincing.
I don't. Bowers is one of those players. I don't care if his ADP goes up or down. I really don't. Because I think he's going to end up.
I have so much of him as
regardless of what happens this year.
I agree. Again, for what it's worth, I still love Brock Bowers. But how much shares do I have of him? Like, he might be my highest roster tight end. Yeah, I have 10.6%. Okay, so I guess my tight end exposure across the board, other than I have 26.9% Hunter Henry. That's probably because I create so many Drake May stacks.
Yeah. Who is Chan actually asks who was our highest rostered player. So my current highest rostered player, and again, we have some slows finishing.
You guys will
up
be able to
from
figure out
teams.
mine.
Mine are both on the Denver Broncos, Audric Estime and Troy Franklin. And then my third highest rostered player is Josh Jacobs. My fourth is Saquon Barkley. And then the scumbag human number 5 is Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. No, that's fair. My rosterships, I mean, you know it. I'm not going to ask you, Corey. So again, this will end up evening out. For what it's worth, I was taking this guy every single time he was at a cheaper ADP, and now his ADP has risen a ton. But 42.3% drafted given the current calibration. My next closest player is at 26.9%.
Yeah, it's Pop
You guys
Douglas,
can guess
right?
it. It's Pop Douglas. It's Pop Douglas. I was getting so much Pop Douglas when he was a 16th, 17th round pick. I've seen this guy go in the 13th round now.
Yeah. We take Prescott here, right?
Yes, easily. That's the big reason why we take Ferguson there, right? Is it opens up?
Well, I mean, we had quarterback outs, but Prescott makes a lot of sense if he doesn't go.
I dig it.
Yeah, that makes some sense. I also I have a shit ton of Kelsey too, which is the first year I've ever been able to utter that sentence.
Yeah, I have a ton of Kelsey.
Oh, dude, he just fucking star methoded Pearsall.
Oh no!
I was hoping that we would get Pearsall later, but this guy just probably had him in his queue for whatever reason. I guess for correlation with St. Brown, and he just got picked 40 picks ahead of ADP or wherever he goes normally.
Nice. What's my Kelsey right now? Kelsey 11.5%. Yeah, dude. Like I have 2 outliers at tight end. I'm gonna try to get down my my Benson exposure. It's a little too high right now. It's at 19.2. If I can get that down to like 13 to 15, I'll be pretty happy. But 26.9 for Hunter Henry. Again, he's also risen in ADP. Tucker Kraft 17.3 and Joku 15.4. And then we get into like a pretty flat area with like Kittle 11.5, Kelsey 11.5, Hawkinson 11.5, Fant 11.5, Schultz 11.5, and then fucking 10.6 each of a bunch of guys too. So we are cooking. Jalen Tolbert 26.9%. Again, he was an 18th round pick. Now he's kind of going up a little bit. I'll probably cool off a little bit on him as well.
Yeah. Kelsey, Henry, Otten, Freiermuth, and Bowers are my top 5 highest rostered tight ends right now.
So we're both just big Hunter Henry fans, or is that just because?
Yes, I'm 18.6%. I like to draft him as my second tight end, and a lot of like if I get an elite guy, I think Henry's like the last guy I feel good about being a 2 tight end build.
I apparently have 25% Caleb Williams, which it doesn't even feel like that. Maybe like once these drafts end, like it'll cool down because like the ones that finish, maybe I just drafted a bunch of Caleb Williams. But my next highest quarterback is Scumbag at 17.3%. So
yeah, I have 23.3. I gotta probably chill on Deshaun Watson now.
My exposures across are pretty flat for the most part, though.
So Purdy went, so we don't have an opportunity to grab him. Is there any running backs on the board, Spicy? Because we could probably need use some at this point in time.
We got to go Cooks if he falls, though. We have to.
Yeah, you're probably.
And then
right.
we could play the Cowboys running back through Dowdle if we need to, but we have.
We could also take Goddard and be done at tight end, and that's a week 17 correlator. But I guess you can only start one tight end in week 17.
Cooks has so much more upside, and it gets us pretty much almost done at receiver.
Right, but it would be a bring back in week 17 is what I'm saying.
Fair. Who knows? Maybe he falls back.
I mean, you'd have to sun run like the way that works out for you, because you can obviously only start one tight end every week. And if you have Ferguson and Goddard, they're in the same game. So the way that it would have to work is that
you'd have to make your flex.
Was the guy you needed to make week 17, and Goddard is the guy who gets you there in week 17.
Or he would have to make your flex, and at that point, who's got more flex potential, half PPR, Cooks or Goddard? Like,
it's more likely that the way that would be the thing you needed is that one of them was the really highly rostered player to get people into week 17, and then the one guy's the unique player in the week 17 matchup.
Cook's a guy I've been finding myself taking so much. Honest to God, I don't know how he's not like an 8th round pick. Look at the receivers there.
Yeah.
Tell me a discernible difference between Brandon Cooks versus, again, I don't love Jameson Williams, but
hear me out on this one. Hear me out on this one. Is there a discernible difference between Brandon Cooks and Keenan Allen?
I mean,
Keenan Allen was obviously way better last year, but he's also
I get your
three
vision,
wide
though.
receiver timeshare in a worse offense.
No, I get your vision on that. Like, you can make the case, especially if Caleb is a little slower out of the gate. Again, we don't expect that, but there is more of a risk knowing a guy that finished second in MVP versus a guy that's coming into his first season as a starter. Like, he needs to be Stroud. He needs to be Herbert. He needs to be Dak Prescott, which ironically enough, the other quarterback we're dealing with is Dak Prescott, to be able to, pay off all those guys. Again, I have full confidence he will, but that's another thing. Like, you have physical.
Did we take Goddard now?
Yeah, take him.
Yeah, we're really gonna need to hammer running backs though, after this.
I mean, we will. We could take whoever falls, potentially hope, knock on wood, between Zeke and Dowdle. And then we could also have
Zeke and Dowdle makes sense. We're gonna maybe Eckler makes sense for this team too.
Go up to that board, because I was even going to say like Jameson Williams, for example, is a big one, because realistically, there's more target competition in Detroit than there is in Dallas. Like, I love my guys CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson, but like Amon St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield are going to command more volume. And not to mention, I mean, you're getting a worse quarterback play there in Detroit versus you are in Dallas, and they have very similar offensive projections. So, like, Brandon Cooks, I get it. He missed time. He was a little inconsistent last year, but second year in the system, second year on the Dallas Cowboys, second year working in training camp with Dak Prescott, like, we could really see him get back to, again, maybe he's not the same player he was, a few years ago when he was a consistent 1,000-yard guy. I mean, everybody referred to Brandon Cooks as like the safest receiver in fantasy for like a 3-year stretch, because he was just a consistent 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns. But like maybe he's a 950-yard, 7 touchdown year this year, because, he's catching the spike weeks there from Dak Prescott, right?
He scored 8 times last year too.
Yeah.
And dude, in the 9th round, look at who went in the 9th round. Josh Palmer, rather have Cooks. Ricky Pearsall, I mean, that was an auto pick, so obviously he doesn't usually go there. Rashid Shaheed is the same exact bet as Brandon Cooks, except in a way worse offense. And Tyler Lockett
is the exact same
old
bet,
receivers, and he's in a 3-way timeshare at wide receiver.
Yeah, Lockett's the same bet, except more target competition with a quarterback who's going to throw probably 10 less touchdowns.
Yeah. Okay, so we should look back at the board here, because there's a couple things we need to prioritize. Running back, which unfortunately Giga Chad kind of cucked us on. If he wanted to cuck us really hard, he would have taken Zeke.
Yes!
But we take Elliott here pretty easily.
Why am I so excited taking Zeke? I don't know. But
never been so excited to take Zeke in my life.
15 picks out after ADP. Sure.
Yeah.
I like this team, man. And it's not just because it has Cowboys on it.
Yeah. We could grab like a Chandler makes sense, I think, too, for this team with our next pick.
Giga Chad. Made amends. Appreciate you. We made amends.
Cooks.
We'll leave in the chat whoever you want. We won't touch him. It doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah. So we're set at tight end. We're done there. But we do need to know if we don't get Geno, are we screwed at quarterback?
No.
Yes, we are currently. I guess we could backdoor like a Bo Nix or like
this still has the upside
or something.
Like, if we need to, then we can still make this a 3 build. Like, I'm not.
We could backdoor JJ McCarthy too and hope that
that's what I mean.
We could make it a 3 QB build with McCarthy and another guy who's going to start more games.
Yeah. Like
Tua's fallen like way past ADP.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that.
He probably has a dolphin. We don't. Tua's just one of those quarterbacks I just like will never take on.
Wait a minute. Did the guy take Tyreek 101, or did he the guy who had Tyreek just not take him? No. So the guy who took Tyreek just didn't take Tua.
Interesting.
Check who has him. Is it Slim or is it K Chase? Who is Tyreek? Yeah, so K Chase, because he took 2 quarterbacks early, hamstrung himself out of getting the sliding Tua Tagovailoa value.
Yeah. Who did he take?
He took Stroud and Murray, I believe. K Chase.
Yeah.
Unlucky.
So I feel like we kind of need a running back here.
Yep.
Herbert goes.
Yeah, we need a running back.
Do we want to take? I mean, we took Jalen Wright last time, but I would be opposed to taking him again.
It's gross. Check Giga Chat so we don't snipe him. Or not. Okay, so he's
good at running back.
So he's Buffalo. He's Buffalo.
Let's grab Jalen Wright again.
Or Komet.
We already have Goddard and
yeah, I forgot we got Goddard. Yeah, I'm cool with it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Yeah, no,
Jalen Wright's fine with me.
I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot for a second that we actually had Goddard fall to us.
Yeah. How many
Naked Stroud is
7 or 6?
6, I believe. Yeah, Naked Stroud is actually atrocious. I'm not gonna lie.
1, 2,
Naked
3,
Stroud.
4, 5. Yeah, we have 6 wide receivers, so I feel pretty good about that.
The worst part about it is it was naked Stroud at ADP. Like, I understand taking a Stroud like naked if he's like, oh yeah, he fell 15 picks past ADP, I'm getting unique. Taking him at ADP, like you took him, is that in the 5th round? Go up a little bit.
Oh, I'm so down for this, by the way. Michael
ADP,
says,
still.
you guys down to do a pug 2 with a 15-second timer after this? I'm so down to do this if you're down.
Let's do it. Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
15-second timer, we can rip a pug out in 25 minutes probably.
I high key expected to look in the StreamYard and see Spicy just going.
Is he down? You down for a pug 2 with a 15-second timer, Spicy?
We're not gonna have to be as engaged, but
after this, we'll make sure that we're not talking when it's almost our pick for sure.
That's what I mean, because
we'll be dialed. We'll be dialed for it. I just want to do it.
We just said 15-second time. Yeah, we're gonna give him a fucking heart attack.
15-second timer. We will be dialed. I promise you. We'll show the draft board less, and we'll use our queue a lot more and that kind of thing.
Yeah, fuck. Holy shit. We barely get picks off at the 30-second. This is gonna be a nightmare.
No, I don't. We'll be dialed, like I said.
Yeah, man. We locked in.
What else do we got in terms of questions here? Y'all think Corum is eating into Kyron's production this year? I do, but like I still think McVay is going to use Kyron as like a lead back, like just not like a workhorse or a bell cow like he was. He's still going to be the lead back though. I think he'll still get the majority of like the important touches. I just think Corum's going to eat into it enough that Kyron's hamstrung to like a back end RB1 or a mid RB1 at the high end.
Yeah.
Would you do Ramondre Ridley in a mid first for Gibbs? Yeah, honestly, if I had a lot of depth, I'd be fine doing that.
Yeah.
Trade CMC for Bijan and a redraft keeper and a keeper.
How long can you keep them for?
Bijan to CMC for sure.
Is it a 1-year keeper or a full keeper? Because if it's a full
keeper, if it's a full keeper, like a 3-year keeper or something like that, I would take Bijan.
Yeah. No, I think you nailed that. Running back room is pretty solid. I'm competing, but want to add another 25 first. Would you trade Stevenson in a late 2 for a mid to late first?
Okay, hold on. Pause that question. We got to make a pick. Gino here. Do we take Gino?
Yeah, or we could play the risk and see if he comes back.
Okay. Do you want to grab Hubbard or Davis or somebody like that?
If we grab Hubbard,
we grab Roman Wilson's week 17.
Don't take Davis because
Seattle sack.
Don't take Davis because Giga Chad had thing. What's Seattle sack?
Let's go Roman Wilson here. If we're gonna grab Gino and we already have JSN, that's the week 17 correlation.
Yeah, let's do it. And we're done at wide receiver now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just I was gonna say don't take Davis because Giga Chad had the Bills.
You're being so considerate of Giga Chad right now. I'm sorry, Giga Chad, in a 15-second timer, if we go into the next draft, like we're not gonna have time to pay attention to who you're stacking.
Yeah. He left us Zeke, so I'm a nice guy, especially after how bad we did him on that T-Law. I have a lot of Rome too. In shallow, what's the difference between Ayuk and Waddle? I mean, there's not much of a difference in general.
Yeah, I prefer Ayuk slightly in shallow or deep leagues, to be honest.
Same, like for what it's worth in redraft specifically, like obviously this is a dynasty question, but redraft, I have them 12 and 13 respectively. They're the same age. Like I would argue Ayuk's a better real life player, whereas the Miami Dolphins have better real life volume. Like it's yin and yang. I prefer Ayuk, but they're both really good. Let's be real.
Yeah. Brock, I feel the same way on Bowers. I want to get up more.
12 to 15 is good.
I have him at 13% right now, and I think that's about where I want to stay. Like I don't want to be super high on him, but I also really like Bowers' projection, if that makes any sense. I think I have two.
Did we read this, by the way?
He carves at a weekly floor. What's up?
We didn't read this.
Oh, right. Yeah. Go back to that question. Sorry.
Stevenson a late 2 for a mid to late first. If you have Bijan, Saquon, Stevenson, Connor, McLaughlin, like it's good value, honestly. I think I would still do this because you could always like use that first to upgrade at a different spot too if you need to.
Yeah, I think I'm okay making this trade as much as I like Stevenson.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, as much as I like Stevenson, like if you were to throw Stevenson plus a 2 into a package versus if you were to throw a 25 first, which is more appealing on the market, it's going to be the 25 first.
Yeah, no, I'm on the same page there.
Oh, Gino did
his most owned players. He's got Jonathan Brooks, Kelsey. I have a shit ton of Jalen Polk too, so we're on the same page. I have 18.5% Jalen Polk. He's my 4th highest owned wide receiver. Okay, we're on the board again here.
We got sniped, but what wide receivers can we correlate to now?
We grab. I don't think we need any more wide receivers. So
no, I'm saying for a quarterback. I'm saying for a quarterback.
We have 2 quarterbacks already, Danny.
No, we don't.
We need to take a running back here, I think.
No, we don't have 2 quarterbacks. What are you talking about?
Oh, we don't. Fuck, we missed Gino. Shit.
I literally just
said
that.
Grab Bucky. We'll backdoor McCarthy and Bo Nix or some shit. All right, I didn't realize. I thought we took Gino with our last pick. That's my bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
so we'll backdoor McCarthy as our third quarterback, but we're gonna need a starter as our second quarterback.
you're just like, we already have 2 quarterbacks. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, I know, that was just funny.
Okay.
2 roam teams. I don't see how he carves out a weekly 4 with DJ Moore and Keenan in 2 wide receiver sets.
I do not think it's a guarantee that Keenan Allen's in 2 wide receivers.
That's exactly what I was saying. At the end of the day, man, if you're worried specifically about role when it comes
we'll
to,
follow that in preseason and make sure that like Odunze is potentially going to start, but to me, it makes sense to throw Keenan only in 3 wide receiver sets as an older player who needs time to like he's the type of guy that gets injured a lot if he's playing too many snaps anyway.
A and B, who's to say that they can't just run a more 11 personnel given the strength of the offense?
Yeah. And I think they will because it's Waldron's coming from Seattle where they use JSN terribly, but they still ran a lot of 11 personnel.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, out of the profiles, Keenan Allen profiles more closely to JSN than he does to any of the Seattle receivers.
Yeah. So, go to the board really quick, Spicy. I got to figure out how we're going to set this up.
I take that, Brock.
We don't have anybody to stack Levis with.
It's going to have to be a JJ team. It's going to have to be a 3 quarterback build.
Yeah, I know. It's going to have to be McCarthy, but we're going to need a second quarterback who's a starter, I think.
Russ.
We can grab Levis and then backdoor Boyd, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need another receiver, though, do we?
Yeah, probably not. Maybe backdoor Okonkwo.
Yuck. We have 2 core. Yeah. Are we not just done at tight end, though?
Yeah, we are. Let's just take Levis and figure it out.
Yeah,
we need a third quarterback.
I mean, yeah, 2 quarterbacks going to be of our 3 picks. Let's just go Levis. Fucking hopefully.
Yeah, well, maybe we can stack him with somebody. I don't know.
That's a good comp.
We kind of got.
We need one more wide receiver anyway. So like Tyler Boyd. I did say we didn't need another receiver, but I mean we have 6 running backs, right? Oh, we have 5. Fuck, I thought we had 6.
I know.
We need a 6th running back, don't we?
Well, we can go 6 running backs and 8. Oh, actually, we need 3 quarterbacks. Never mind.
Do we need a 6th here, or are you cool with 5 with this? 5 feels a little too fucking slight.
Let's see what the wide receiver. What does our wide receiver position look like?
Ayuk, JJ, Reed, Worthy, JSN, Cooks.
I'm fine rolling a naked Levis, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
It sucks, but I think we kind of have to. I suppose we could have just been like, you know what, we're gonna just hope that Dak gets us by and just roll with McCarthy and Dak, but that seems a little thin for me.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, we could have maybe done that though, because if McCarthy wins the job week 1, then maybe that would be what we're betting on. But
I don't mind grabbing a Levis too.
Yeah, I mean,
Tyler Boyd just
anyway, so
fucking bitch. That's the guy.
I suppose, like I said, we could go with a Okonkwo, but I think that's a little overkill at tight end.
I think we're just running a naked Levis.
Which, yeah, let's roll. Do you want to go Tracy? We grabbed Pierce last time. We could go Tracy.
I was gonna make the
I think we grabbed Tracy last time.
Yeah, I'm down with either of them. Let's go Tracy. He fell a little bit. 2 picks.
Yeah,
roll
Tracy.
He fell 5 picks or 6 picks. I was gonna. I'm just gonna say it because it's on my mind. If I don't say this joke, I'm gonna regret not saying it. Hey, given the leaks, maybe a naked Levis isn't the worst thing.
Oh yeah, fuck. And there goes McCarthy.
You bastard!
Buy the slice. Let's see the team. I need to see what this guy's doing.
Probably piss. Oh, great, nice tight ends. And Love. And,
so he has Anthony Richardson and Jordan Love already, and
so he's just
McCarthy.
an asshole.
Unstacked McCarthy. Or sorry, with Addison and Hawkinson, I suppose. He's stacked up.
But he already had Love. Leave us one of them, asshole.
What the fuck is this guy doing, dude? Come on, man.
I take
Buy the slice. The only like non-badge player in this freaking draft.
Absolute fucking cash.
I
love just dunking.
What the hell do we do now? Do we roll Dak and Levis and pick a late round dart throw for Levis to stack?
Is there any rushing quarterback? Is there any rushing quarterback?
I mean, we take Justin Fields.
Do we want to go Sam Darnold?
We have Robin Wilson. Let's take Justin Fields.
Fuck it. Let's go.
This is the worst quarterback core of all time.
Watch Dak just be a stud, and we don't have to use anybody else anyways.
Yeah, I mean, we did not land this plane at quarterback for sure. We kind of fucking threw, but
This douchebag sniped both of our stacks.
Johnny
Fucking love
football.
and what?
We got cucked there. Gino was the thing that fucked us. Like Gino not going was really bad.
I mean, to be fair, we landed it with Dak, but like also like yeah, Gino and fucking
Purdy and
JJ
Gino
McCarthy.
both went when we needed them.
Christ.
Unfortunate at the running
Why
back.
did
at the
that guy
quarterback
take
position.
JJ McCarthy? He had Rich and Love.
Yeah. Okay, we're dialed in. We're doing a pug draft. Again, This is a 15-second timer, so we need to be like very focused on the draft and our queue and stuff. But if you guys do want to join it, it's a 3-entry max contest, fast drafts only, 20K to first, a lot smaller field than BBM, as you can see there, 9,300 entrants. So very good chance that you could actually take this thing down. Let's do it, Spicy. 15-second clock.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't get the friggin' 106 like the 50th time in the world. Come on, give us a influencer.
Give us a 101 this time. Oh,
104.
Wow, we upgraded.
Sweet.
El Gato.
Yeah.
El Gato.
Oh, that's funny.
The source is in here too. This guy's always fucking around.
This guy, just the actual NFL is in here.
Wow, that's actually a legit.
Is Kev?
Username.
Is that Rotosurgeon?
No. Is it?
No. Actually, I think his name is Rotosurgeon.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think
on
so.
Underdog. So
I think so.
Okay, so we're thinking Chase here, right? Probably, unless Hill or Lamb or McCaffrey falls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought you said you lowered Chase.
So.
You lowered Chase, no?
I did, but in ADP right now, I'm sick of taking St. Brown.
That's fair, dog.
Plus, I lowered him in home leagues, but in best ball, I prefer Chase to St. Brown because he's more of the big play, like league breaking upside guy.
Yeah.
But in home leagues, home PPR leagues, I would rather have St. Brown. Yes.
I would still take Chase. By the way, I love seeing CD with a 1 beside his ADP now. People are
Can we get a gift of Tyreek here, please?
Tyreek would be
Come on,
lovely.
Extrom. Cook for us. Take Chase.
Take fucking Puka Nakua here.
Damn it. Okay, we go Jamar.
Jamar.
Yeah, make fast work. Spicy's going to need to be on the 1s and 2s this draft.
Speaking of Puka, people were not happy about your tweet, eh?
They weren't. No.
They were not happy. Again, I am side Puka, but like
Marvin Harrison has a higher ceiling than Puka Nakua. Basically. And that's why I'm drafting him higher. And everyone's like, how can we say this about a guy who just had an elite rookie season? I'm like, because the guy who's coming into the NFL is probably going to do the same thing. It's like, again, it's not a guarantee, but like if any guy is going to do it, it's going to be Harrison.
Yeah.
And like, if we knew ahead of time that Marvin was a superstar, like he's going to come in and be a top 10 NFL receiver right away, just think about his projection. He's in a good offense with a great quarterback. He's the clear number 1. Like, again, McBride's good, but I think he's still going to be the alpha from a target standpoint.
Well, why can't he have 1,600 yards as a rookie?
Yeah, like Harrison. And people were like, oh, what Puka did was unprecedented. I'm like, the receiving rookie record has been broken 3 of the last 4 years. It's not unprecedented at all. This is the new age NFL.
And wasn't it the last 3 years or am I tripping?
No, 3, because Jefferson was a rookie in 2020.
Right.
But
the
Jefferson
London Wilson year. No, the London Wilson year was the one.
Yeah. The London Wilson year, it didn't get broken, but 2021 class, 2020 class, and 2023 class, there's been a receiver to break the record every year. So if Harrison does it this year, I wouldn't be super shocked by that. Okay, Spicy, go to the board here so we can see what's coming to us. Okay, so I'm sure we're very much okay with Taylor or Collins or Ayuk, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't take any Olave, so if he fell, I wouldn't even hate
I'd be okay with Olave if he slid to us, yeah.
I want one of the receivers, though. I'm not going to lie.
Collins goes.
I don't want Taylor.
Taylor goes.
I didn't want him.
I'd be okay going Waddle, too, if we wanted to mix it up over Ayuk because we took Ayuk last time.
Yeah, I mean, I have them ranked back-to-back.
Let's go Ayuk. I just like Ayuk better.
Or we could go Waddle.
Yeah, well, I just prefer Ayuk. I think that the case for Ayuk to have a smash season is better than Waddle.
The reason why I said we could go Waddle is because there's also Achane that may slip back to us, and now he probably won't because
I don't think he would have anyway, to be honest. I guess I know what you mean, though. The Waddle manager is probably going to draft him, but Trombo has
he also has
Tyreek already, so maybe he doesn't want to oversack the same offense.
If this guy takes a running back, he's selling here. I mean, To be fair, look at the wide receiver board. I actually don't blame him for taking HN. I probably would as well. That's the thing about 101. If you don't take CD Lamb at the 101, then you're left with this exact predicament. And it's like,
do
do
you know how many McCaffrey, Mike Evans, Malik Neighbors teams I have? Like 4. Like of my like 60 draft.
You have to take 2 receivers at the 2-3 turn. You have to. Otherwise, if you end up with 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds, your structure is just cooked in these drafts.
Yeah. So let's see if let's say
there's 2
HN
clear
goes.
guys for me. There's 2 clear
HN
guys.
and Cup are the 2 clear guys for us. But if they go, who are we looking at?
You don't have to worry
one of
about
them's gonna fall.
Don't have to worry about it.
And
Extra, take it easy on us. Take it easy on us. Yeah,
HN it is. Nice. Okay, we love that.
The boy, Devon.
Okay, we have some time to see if anybody's got some questions here.
Fuck yeah.
JSN or Rasheed Rice in Dynasty? I slightly prefer JSN, but that's really close. If I got clarity,
we got to start planning out our next turn, by the way.
Yeah, oh no, we will. I'm just looking through if we have any other things.
Yeah, you good.
Okay,
the running backs are
next turn in terms of structurally what we want to do here, we're on pace at wide receiver, so we're not like guaranteed we have to take 2 wide receivers here. We could definitely deviate for a quarterback or a tight end if one falls back to us.
I mean, like the classic Twitter screenshot would be the Lamar Andrews stack just falling.
It would be, yeah. I have the week 17 matchups beside me too, so I can advise us on that. Jamar Chase. I mean, there's no Broncos that we would want to take.
Broncos,
Lions. I mean, unless Laporta falls. If Laporta falls to us, that would obviously be ideal.
I mean, it's not going to happen. But imagine Amari Cooper fell.
Yeah, I mean,
Miami.
Yeah, Miami, Cleveland. Yeah, you're right. I could fall. I would say that X Trombo. Yeah, Laporta goes there. This guy's name is just NFL, which is elite. By the way,
that's such a cool name.
That's such an OG name.
The funniest by far is when somebody's has an absurdly long username and they just get a bigger box.
Yeah. The Cooper goes.
Yeah, good pick. I like.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be down to set up something if it falls back to us where we're like we can try the Lamar Andrews.
Hear me out.
Like something like that.
Unlikely to fall back, but the other option, if either of the top 2 quarterbacks come, I think they're just.
I mean, Higgins also probably needs to be our number 1 option that falls back to us, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have what?
We have Chase.
5 picks. So yeah, that would be lovely.
Higgins would
5
be the
picks,
ideal.
3 guys that are really eye breakers right now.
Yeah,
come on, go Pickens. You know you want to.
I'd be fine taking either of the top quarterbacks that are on the board, but fuck. Taking Allen and setting up the Kincaid would be really, really nice if it can fall.
One more fade. Go Christian Kirk. I know you want to
take Hurts because they probably have AJ or Devontae, maybe.
Go. All right,
we're got a quarterback.
Quarterbacks.
Allen's my preference just because we can stack him easier. We don't have
Allen's my preference because he's my QB1.
Yeah, I mean, we take Allen here. That's pretty good value.
Oh, I love this shit, bro.
ADP.
Woo!
Yeah. Love that. Okay, give us a star on Kincaid. I think that's probably where we got to go with our next pick.
Yeah. Yeah, either Kincaid or receiver. Those are the only 2 positions we can go.
I mean, I don't love this area of the receiver board anyways, so I'm totally fine going Kincaid and double tapping receiver with our next 2 picks.
I mean, like, we could literally just take – obviously, Kincaid would be the option, but, like, worst-case scenario, if we had to go Andrews, I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah.
Also, dude,
whoever's got Devontae Smith is getting a Jalen Hurts.
Where did the A.J. Brown guy go?
He must have went with a quarterback. He just didn't. He went Cooper and
he had Brown and Barkley, and then goes with Pittman and Cooper with passing on Jalen.
The neighbors, Devontae Smith, McCaffrey, Hurts is pretty nice that guy started with.
That's a cool team.
Yeah, Jaden Reed goes.
You're cool with Kincaid over Andrews? Yeah, okay. We don't have.
Yeah, we have to go Kincaid anyways. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You make that bet on Allen, you probably have to do Kincaid.
I mean, it's also just Josh Allen. He'll get
and Keon will probably be in play for our 7th rounder. I would say not our 6th.
Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, I'm very much on team Keon and Shakir over Curtis Samuel as the guys that I
really
more often.
I kind of just click all of them.
I do too, but I like Keon most because he's like a tier break at wide receiver, and then Shakir is down further enough that him and Samuel, to be honest, I just don't see a huge difference between. So that's why I click Shakir more than Samuel.
I actually have more Shakir and Samuel than I do Coleman. Actually, Coleman of the Bills. So of the Bills, I have the least amount of Kincaid. Just because I like the other tight ends in that range a little bit more. Especially, I mean, like you know my thoughts on a guy like Kyle Pitts. I can get Kyle Pitts over a round later. I usually just do that instead. James Cook, I have 25% in this loaded cycle. For the record, man,
You have James Cook already? That much?
I have a lot of James Cook, bro. Why
Wow.
is he going in the 5th, 6th round?
He is going too low. I'll give you that. But where do I have him in terms of ownership? I definitely don't have him that much. Like I have him only 8%, so I'm about in line with market. But
I know we need a receiver, by the way, but if James Cook does,
if he falls, we have to pick him for
we
sure.
have to. I mean, please just
either of these top two guys would be great for me.
Let us have some content here, boys. This guy's got 2 running backs. If you take another one here, I'm going to end you. Not really.
Yeah,
but,
I'll be mad if he takes another one here. Okay,
take
Ridley
a
goes.
Come on, take a
this
Pitts.
El Gato is gonna screw us.
Take a Kittle. Take a Kittle.
Oh no. Okay, Hopkins. Do we want?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need some production, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we grab Hopkins here.
This is like, I know this is gross, but if Kittle falls back, we could just bully tight end our shit here.
No, we're not taking Kittle, dude. That's too much. We can't.
But
we can't do it.
We have Ayuk. We have Ayuk. I'm more so playing around. He should be gone by our pick, but
yeah, I guess we do have Ayuk. You're right. But
Lad, B-Tom, or JSN would be lovely.
I mean, I can't believe we should probably take.
Check the guy's team who took Cook again. It's just a great ADP value. I actually just don't blame him for taking him anyways. I probably would have done the same, but yeah, god damn it. Got him what? 12 picks after ADP.
So
yeah.
McConkey or Coleman's got to be the pick here, right?
Yeah. The thing
do we take Coleman? I mean, we have the stack. We should probably take Keon.
Yeah, but I like waiting here and seeing if we can get
Curtis Samuel. Let's go McConkey and we'll wait for Shakir or Samuel then.
If we didn't have Kincaid, I would just take the best receiver. But knowing that we can get some value and end up still with a Shakir or a Curtis Samuel, I'm cool with that, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, also just knowing what I know about Keon Coleman, it wouldn't shock me if he's a slow progression to the NFL anyways. Like we both scout, like between McConkey and Coleman, which one would you think is more pro ready to play? Because they're both in position to earn targets right away.
McConkey by far.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a reason we scouted these guys. Like as much as we want to be like, oh, we got to play like the stacking and the ADP. It's like you and I have the unique advantage that like we scouted these players and not many people who, have regular day jobs have time to do that stuff. So we should use that to our edge when we're in these drafts, knowing that we think that Keon Coleman's not really pro ready right now.
Yeah. By the way,
but then again, if he goes off in week 17 in our bill stack, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. So
this was the realest shit ever, by the way. We being that excited to take Zeke is why we're true degens. Facts. Yeah, that was a tough spot. I'm not gonna lie. Spain.
Yeah, it was a tough night. Ethan says 6 shirt, Danny.
Yes, sir. Respect. Dude, I love these shirts. I ain't gonna lie. By the way, tomorrow I will be rocking one for you. So
for me,
of course.
What do you mean? Tomorrow you're gonna be rocking? Oh, I see. I know what you mean.
Yeah. I mean, I could show you that one after this draft. The one I got
also, you need to, before we go to Texas, you need to get on Underdog to get you a Hawaiian shirt.
Dude, I'm saying, you know how often I wear these things, bro? Like, fuck, I gotta reach out.
No! Oh, dude, he almost made it back to us.
That would.
I was crossing my fingers. And Curtis Samuel goes
bang. Fucker.
Oh
fuck off. All these guys want the.
We gotta make a decision. Let's go Swift, right?
Sure.
Yeah, let's go Swift. He makes the most sense.
Douchebags.
Oh,
no fucking way. I
mean, he just takes the value. I don't know why El Gato took.
That's what I'm saying, because he also sniped us on Cook.
Yeah,
should have backdoor bills on us.
Dickhead. Okay, do we want another? What do we want to do with this next pick here?
Wide receiver probably. Oh,
it's gross though. Like
they're gross.
I mean, I suppose we could take Palmer and then use Herbert as our second quarterback.
Do we want to reach on Shakir? I mean, we kind of have to, right? It's not a reach. It's 9 picks, but like, he's not falling back to us. Shakir.
Yeah,
it feels gross taking him at the 9-4. I mean, he might, but like,
he might.
I don't know. I'll let you make this call.
Okay. I want to go Palmer. Let's go Palmer because that sets up a Herbert stack for us.
Yeah, let's do it. Not to mention, worst case scenario, we get left
with Palmer. I think he's a good value.
Worst case too, bro. Even if we get left with a Allen Kincaid single, are we really that worried?
No. We need a jet run back though, probably. Like Corley or Conklin or something like that.
Yeah,
probably not Conklin because we have Kincaid, but Yeah, Corley or somebody like that would make some sense later on. Mike Williams too, if he falls back to us here.
Do you have any advice for a first-year fantasy football commissioner? Honestly, the best advice I would give is let everybody in your league have their freedom, but also if there's questionable moves going on, like honestly have a talk with those guys. That's the one thing I see. Everybody's like, oh yeah, no veto crowd, no veto crowd. To a certain extent, 95% of the time I agree. But there's certain instances where like people know better than what they're doing. And they do it on purpose to see what they can get away with. And until you actually question them on it, again, not even just like, oh, like that's not going through, like this getting vetoed, yada, yada. Just more so like if a trade goes down that you think is questionable, ask both owners their intent in making the move. If one isn't giving you a clear answer and the other one is trying to give excuses for the other person, that's how you know something fishy is going on from experience.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Shakir's obviously the best option here.
Yeah.
If Shakir goes with this next pick, I think Singletary makes a lot of sense as well, or Mike Williams for a run back. Okay, we take Shakir here.
Yeah. So
I think star Singletary and Mike Williams because
Gus.
And actually we could. Do you want to start Gus Edwards too? Because we got
Yes.
I mean, I'm very much on team. Like, I'll just take Vidal or Dobbins later, so I don't take a lot of Edwards. Okay, we can grab one of the other guys later potentially. Then.
And Spicy, real quick, for what it's worth, I agree. Overall, don't do vetoes in general. Ask beforehand what the intent is. By the way, I don't know why my camera's frozen like that. I kind of look a little weird there. But ask beforehand what the intent from both owners in. If they're both giving you valid answers, that is more than fine.
Okay. Do we want to do Chase Brown here?
Yes.
We have Chase, so
yes.
we should
probably
do that.
I guess we could have taken Burrow, but like we already had Allen.
He went on our last turn. I wasn't going to take him ahead of ADP when we already had Allen. If he had come back to us, which is possible, then I would have maybe taken him. But
is my shit still frozen for you? Like it might.
Yeah, here, just turn your camera off and turn it back on or something like that. There's Spicy in the thing here. I'll just remove both of you guys. Okay, so our team is coming together pretty well. I would say I still feel a little shaky about us at running back, and I also wouldn't mind closing off tight end and quarterback potentially with our next turn. Like if we could grab, you're good. If we could grab Herbert and maybe a tight end here and be done at tight end and quarterback, that would be ideal, I think.
I'll go with that. Also, I really love the format of these drafts because typically people are just kind of like taking their guys and not thinking much about it. So you're actually getting a good amount of ADP values in this.
Yeah, not to mention like it's just a nice way to like knock out a draft quickly. Like you don't have to like sit here and draft for 40 minutes. It's one thing when we're streaming, we can kind of talk or whatever. But if people are just sitting here drafting like on their phone for 40 minutes, like it's a long time that you're doing that for. So
for sure. Do you guys like Brooks? Admittedly, I've taken a lot of Brooks and Leggett. Yeah. I mean, I like his value if he's like a 9th round pick. Obviously there's a little bit of a risk. You're going to want to balance out your running back core with guys that can produce immediately, but I like him.
Herbert went, so we're kind of screwed at the. I'm cool grabbing Schultz here though, and be done at tight end.
We don't have any Rico. I kind of like Rico too. I'm down with Rico or Schultz. Let's just go.
Schultz. Let's grab Schultz, man. I want to be done at tight end.
Yeah, start Rico.
Yeah. We need to figure out a backdoor stack now because Herbert went. So Levis, I guess, is our other option with Hopkins.
Intra-division. Wait, no, they're not even the same division. I'm actually baked.
We could set up something else too, where we grab like a Franklin or something and backdoor the Bo Nix kind of situation.
Dowdle goes. Damn it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if we could do that, or we can set up a backdoor Pats also feels nice. Where's Antonio Gibson's ADP? Is he the next round?
It's like 2 rounds from now, I think.
Okay. So
yeah, a couple rounds.
Keep him in mind. Is there a Patriots pass catcher here?
No, Polk's gone.
Fuck. Because they play week 17.
No. I'd be fine just grabbing Chandler here and then figuring the rest out later. Because we can stack what's his name later on. Franklin just go fucking 30 picks ahead of ADP.
Demario Douglas also goes, which stinks.
I think Chandler makes the most sense here. Personally.
I'm cool with it. But what I'm saying is
Chandler here.
We had two Chargers, and they play the Patriots week 17. That's why I was saying that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We still have like Baker and like If you want to get really gritty, you can get like a last round flyer, Kendrick Bourne. Like,
Yeah.
we got outs.
We don't have the same bye week on our tight ends, do we? Can we just double check that
No,
quickly?
12 and 14.
12 and 14. Okay. Also, can we check Will Levis's bye week really quick? That's 5. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, we are chilling.
We do need to take Levis probably with our next.
Yeah, we
pick,
do.
though.
We do.
Maybe not our next one, but the one after, like the back way through the turn.
Naked Levis joke. Yeah, if you guys got the reference, you got it. JSN or Rasheed Rice, Dynasty startup. I think I have JSN higher. Yeah, I surely have JSN higher.
Yeah,
I actually want to see how much higher though, because I have Rice relatively high, but I have JSN 27, Rasheed Rice 31. Badger strike again, amen. Richardson loves McCarthy. Richardson love and McCarthy, bro. Paid the rake. Yeah, for real. JSN or Rasheed Rice. Yeah, we just answered that. Spicy says locked. I'm worried about you fellas. Amen. That's fair. I always prefer Puka to stat. Yeah, like I personally still prefer Puka, but like I don't think it's outlandish what Corey said, because I mean Marvin Harrison Jr. is both the best prospect we've both seen, and I mean literally the only reason for pessimism that people have in drafting him outside of the first round is that he's a rookie, and we haven't drafted rookies in the first round other than the running back position. So like I understand it.
Let's dial in for this next pick here. I just want to make sure we're on track. Okay, so we got, what is it, 6 wide receivers we have so far? Yeah. Okay. So top of the 6 ADP board. I think Mooney's kind of just like a good, nice value to take. Okay,
anymore.
I'd be okay grabbing Algier or something on the first. We could grab Ray Davis, actually. We don't have Cook.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's grab Ray Davis.
We do have Allen.
Hopefully he falls to us here. And then I think Levis has to be our pick on the way back.
Yeah. That's fair. I do. Okay. Yeah, we read that. Should we be worried about Kittle after the reports that he lost? I'm not worried at all, to be honest. Kittle is a genetic freak. If he wants to put back on 25, 30 pounds, he's got the nutritional program to be able to do so. I'm not worried.
Yeah, I'm not worried either.
6 shirt, Danny. Appreciate that. Yeah, dude. These are my favorite types of shirts. Like just, oh, fuck. I just knocked over my focus, right? Like just nice and open, fucking chilling. I wore this to an engagement party last week. Wearing one potentially tomorrow. We'll see. So, yeah,
you wear the same shirt that you wore on our my engagement party tomorrow.
I'm not wearing this one. I literally just
okay. Well, you said maybe the same one tomorrow. Like
no.
Okay.
Same,
anyways, we go
same vibe,
and we don't ask questions. It would be nice if we could have grabbed Corley and pushed Levis, but after what happened to us in our last draft, I don't want to do that.
Sorry, there's a lot of AO going on in the chat right now. I traded DJ Moore for Ricky Pearsall, Jalen Polk, and a mid to late first on my productive struggle. What do we think? I think that's perfectly
two
fine.
Swings at wide receivers, rookie wide receivers, and with top 35 draft capital or 38 draft capital and a first rounder, that's a pretty good return.
I can't get you live on my laptop. I can on my phone. That is weird. I think it's like a Twitter bug right now. Honestly, if you clicked it on Twitter, or is it going on YouTube for you? Because I know my Twitter DMs are not working at all.
Is that a Tommy Bahama shirt? Danny's repping his Andy Reid impression right now.
Dude, these shits are fucking fire. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you.
I did 3 drafts in less than an hour with that 10-second clock over a week ago. Yeah, what was that? The no, not the pug. It was the mini schnauzer, I think.
Yeah. What's the Dachshund?
Somebody DM me that Levis pick.
Hey, yo, that's crazy.
That Levis flick. True.
Touch grass. Yeah, Chad, if you really want to see it, just incognito tab that shit and fucking go search.
Yeah, just turn us off of the screen first. It seems weird.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Corley falling back to us would have been real nice
that
for a run back.
Would have been beautiful.
Can we get a Jets run back? Like, is there anybody else we could take round 18 or something?
Your boy or Gibson?
We got to take JK if he falls here, right?
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about when I say your boy. He may or may not be on the screen right now. You love your Alan Lazard.
I do love me some Alan Lazard. I feel like I only draft him when we're streaming. I
know,
never draft him any other time.
You love your Alan Lazard.
Yeah, we take Dobbins here if he falls, and then we're done at running back, I think, right?
He's defending himself. I love it.
I don't watch that shit. I heard
I don't watch that shit. Like
the Levitan breakdown of it was that all you see is cock is all I heard. That was on Oversight channel. So that's all I heard about it. Let's go J.K. Dobbins here.
I mean, I was going to say, did we need a 6th running back? But we're fine now.
Yeah, we definitely needed a 6th, I think.
I mean, so 8 receivers then?
8 receivers, yeah, I think.
Right.
We're done at tight end. Who do we have at tight end? Oh, yeah, Schultz and Kincaid. Yeah, we're totally good. Dalton squared.
Dalton Connect.
Okay, correlation-wise, is there anybody that sticks out on this pick for wide receivers? McMillan doesn't correlate. We have Tez Walker and Dalton Schultz correlate.
Yeah,
Jalen Walker here.
Jalen Tolbert correlates to my heart. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I mean, he does for some reason. I think we should just take. Okay, never mind. He just went. Let's go Tez Walker. I was gonna say we should just take
go Odell.
He's the best pick, but
what about Odell?
We could take Odell probably with our next pick. To be honest,
fair. What does Tez Walker correlate to? Or you just like him?
Dalton Schultz.
Oh, fair. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
or you just like him.
I don't hate him. I think he's a fine option.
No, Chad, you're good. You're trolling. You're completely fine. Al Lazard in any year was devious. Let's be real. Yeah, that's real. That is
Alan
real.
Lazard cooks, man.
Yeah,
I mean, this could be an Alan Lazard team if you want to make it an Alan Lazard team.
Wait, did you say Brandon? Did you say Alan Lazard cooks?
He does.
He cooks ass.
He does. He cooks ass. That's what Will Levis does too, apparently. But I think Alan Lazard to just catch 2 fucking bullshit touchdowns when the Bills blow the doors off the Jets in week 17 also kind of makes sense to me.
Fucking Christ.
We need, we could do no run back on the Bills stuff. We have Ray Davis and Dalton Kincaid and Shakir already. So we're already pretty loaded up on the Bills.
By the way, I'm hearing everybody get into their summer scouting for 2025, but obviously we did it for running backs and receivers. Other people did it for defense, did it for other positions, and just hearing everybody acknowledge at once now, holy fucking Christ, Mason Graham is an absolute monster on the timeline. I went on my timeline today, and there's probably 4 or 5 different tweets just saying Mason Graham is a better prospect than Jalen Carter. And if you watch Michigan football, bro, Mason Graham was by far the best defensive lineman on one that probably had 5 NFLers.
True. I mean, Danny with some unsolicited Michigan bias takes.
He'll be a top 5 pick, bro. It's not biased.
Probably, yeah. I mean, he's a good player, obviously. Okay, so going back to the board here.
Odell,
yeah. Odell would be interesting. I have a hard out as soon as this draft is done because I got to do some stuff for tomorrow's party.
I'm not gonna lie, I just got to go to the washroom. So
true. I mean, that's good too. Is there anybody else that's interesting other than Beckham?
Raymond or Tolbert?
But why is Beckham interesting? Are we just taking him because he's?
We have H-An, so it's making.
Oh, we have H-An. Yeah, you're right. Okay. We don't have any Colts, do we? No, because I don't mind Hyatt at this point in the draft. I think he's a half decent value. I mean, if you want, we could take Kendrick Bourne. We
could do that too, but we also just don't have. We don't have May.
But we have Palmer and McConkey.
Fair. I mean, which one do you like
Dobbins.
better from?
If that game shoots out, Dobbins, Palmer, McConkey, and maybe.
But Kendrick we have 2 of the receivers though.
Huh?
Oh, right, dude. Bourne's on the other side.
Bourne's on the other side of the ball.
I was thinking DJ Chark.
Do you want to go Bourne or Beckham?
Your call.
Let's go Bourne. Let's go Bourne.
Okay, let's go Bourne.
Beckham's kind of washed, so.
I'm not gonna lie. By the way, I thought you were saying Chark. That's why my brain wasn't working. I'm we
could have actually. You know what we probably should have done there was taken Elijah Moore as a run back to H-An, but
that would have been a good call. Okay. Granted, I've been called. You've been called PS2 or PS3.
PS3, true.
Fair enough. From my question earlier, those 25 backs is why I'm trying to turn guys like Stevenson. Now that makes complete sense.
Makes total sense to me. We did have the 4th pick in this draft, Corey there. Okay, so we are going to close out this stream because we went just keep it under the 2-hour mark. We did 2 BBMs and a pug for the bonus. Obviously, that was a lot of fun. Again, the pugs are probably going to be filled by tomorrow. So if you guys are in a rush to get some of those pug entries in, definitely sign up on Underdog. Of course, use promo code FSE, deposit $10. You'll get our redraft rankings manifesto and our dynasty rankings, our dynasty rookie draft guide, for free. When you sign up over there. Appreciate you guys for tuning into the stream. Thanks for joining us the last 2 hours. Amen. Peace out. We'll talk to you soon.